House Music, supporting local musicians since 1872. Play music for life.
Every weeknight at 6 p.m., join the voice of the Mountaineers, Tony Caridi, on The Watchdog. Tony informs and entertains WVU fans with the latest Mountaineer sports news. If it happens in the world of gold and blue, Tony knows about it and shares it with you. Sportsline, weeknights at 6 on The Watchdog.
We'll begin to hear closing arguments for both the state and the defense before the jury actually gets the case. There'll be led jury instructions in this case, and they'll be also packing their bags this weekend because once court starts on Monday, they are going to be sequestered until they make their final decision.
Jeff Manasso is with us, Fox News Radio and Jeff, you're based in Chicago, and clearly the big story out of Chicago today is the release of the video showing the officer shooting and killing the 13-year-old boy. Of course, the officer didn't know that it was 13. But anyway, what is the latest on that?
Well, we've seen some small protests in Chicago, a couple of small protests, including outside the Chicago Police Headquarters last night, where people were calling for the mayor to resign. They're calling for this officer involved in Adam Toledo's shooting to be charged. This was just hours after the city released video of Toledo's shooting. In it, we see surveillance video appearing to show Toledo and a friend firing a gun. Also, later, Toledo being chased on foot by an officer as that officer orders him to stop and put his hands up. The video also shows 1/8 of 1 second between the time that we can see what appears to be a gun in the 13-year-old's hand and that single shot. A gun later found feet away from where Adam Toledo hit the ground and later died. And we've gotten a word from just moments ago, Attorney Tim Graves, who's representing this Chicago police officer who fatally shot Toledo, who tells Fox News that they are hoping for or expecting no charges in this case. He tells Fox News, if you look at the mechanics of the shooting, the officer sees the gun, the juvenile turns and looks at the officer to acquire a target. The kid starts to turn, and you can't see the gun. He tells Fox News that that the officer at this point is doing awful. More information on that as we get it, Hoppy.
Yeah, and also on that video after the shooting, there's a video of the officer saying, "Stay with me," and trying to use life-saving techniques on the boy, right?
Yeah, he immediately goes to the life-saving techniques, CPR, getting a patch to stop the blood from bleeding on his chest, and then once EMS takes over and others take over, you can see the officer walking away on body cam, on his partner's body cam, taking in what he knows he has just done, that perhaps if this does go to trial, will also help humanize this officer. But at the same time, the family is calling for charges. Mayor Lori Lightfoot not necessarily calling for any charges, but saying that we've got a gun problem in this city, and we've got to do better as it pertains to our youth.
Absolutely. All right, Jeff Manasso, Fox News Radio in Chicago. Jeff, thank you so much.
You bet. All
right, appreciate it. All right, good insights there from Jeff on that. Meanwhile, authorities say they've not yet identified the gunman who stormed a FedEx facility near Indianapolis, the airport, killing 8 people and wounding several others before taking his own life. He started randomly shooting people in the parking lot and went into the building where he shot himself shortly after police entered. All right, we'll take a break and come back. Coming up is Steam release, and I got some texts I want to get to. You can text me, 304 Talk 304. I never get to all the texts, unfortunately. Email me, talkline at wvmetronews.com. But I cherish the calls. I cherish the calls on Steam release. It just provides more texture. At 1-800-765-TALK. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
Jury selection underway in a Morgan County courtroom this hour in a high-profile murder case.
43-year-old Andy McCauley allegedly murdered 15-year-old Riley Crossman 2 years ago next month. and Leslie took the Berkeley Springs teenager from her home. Her body was found 8 days after she was reported missing in a wooded area not far from Martinsburg. Prosecutors allege drywall mud on her body matched drywall mud found in McCauley's work truck. McCauley was Crossman's mother's boyfriend at the time of Riley's disappearance and lived in the Crossman home. McCauley has asked for a change of venue, but that's been denied. Jury selection starts today in Morgan County. If a jury cannot be seated, jury selection is scheduled to shift to Jefferson County next week. The trial is scheduled to begin April 26th. I'm Jeff Jenkins, WVMetroNews.com.
In downtown Charleston, a man was found dead of a gunshot wound on a bench in front of the Kanawha County Courthouse just a little after 7 this morning.
I believe somebody in the judicial annex heard a gunshot and went outside to investigate, found this man sitting on a bench with an injury to his head, and it was later determined that was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. They found the pistol there very near him.
That's Sergeant Brian Humphreys of the Kanawha County Sheriff's Department. The man's identity is not known. West Virginia's congressional delegation urging the president to approve a request by Governor Jim Justice for a federal disaster declaration in response to severe winter weather in February here in West Virginia. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Metro News is the voice of high school sports in West Virginia. We're there from the sweat-soaked high school gyms to the bright lights of the Charleston Civic Center and the state tournaments. We're with the fans under the lights on Friday nights during football season and at Wheeling Island Stadium for the Super Six. We're at the dusty baseball fields and at Appalachian Power Park for the state championships. From the Metro News Power Index to the high school sports line, your home for the best coverage of high school sports is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
If you have a child who is a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Metro News is once again giving away a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. The 14th annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers, West Virginia Farm Bureau, and Lou Wendell Marine. Deadline is April 30th. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com to apply. That's WVMetroNews.com. Again, application deadline is April 30th.
Funeral underway this hour at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center for popular Charleston teenager K.J. Taylor, a standout athlete at Capitol High. The 18-year-old Taylor was murdered last week. Charleston City Council member Jennifer Farr says K.J. was a friend to everybody.
He didn't judge anyone. He was a very straight-up kid. He would tell you whether he wanted to do something or didn't want to do something. And he was just loved. He was loved, and people loved him.
Police so far have made no arrests. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
So I'm completing a 3-day work week. Tough job. And it's time for Steam Release here on Metro News Talk Line.
I don't care if Monday's blue, Tuesday's grey and Wednesday too. Thursday, I don't care about you, it's Friday, I'm in love.
No, I can't. What happened? No Steam Release. Okay, no open. Anyway, you know the drill, and that is every Friday, 11:33. It's your weekly opportunity to vent and get it off your chest with Steam Release. And you can do this a couple ways. 1-800-765-8255. Call in at 1-800-765-TALK and release your steam. Or text me 304-TALK-304. Or email me, talkline@wvmetronews.com. Just a couple of things. I never get to all the texts. I try just to go in order. It helps if you keep it tight. A couple of sentences on texts will cover it, believe me. And then on the phone calls, same thing. Keep it tight. What point is it you want to make? And then make it and go. And you can release steam about me, and I will not respond. You take your best shot. It's okay. If you need to say it and it makes you feel better, then it's all good. 1-800-765-8255, 1-800-765-TALK. Let's start with Jim in Barbersville. Hi, Jim. What's your steam?
Today's Herald Dispatch has an opinion page about the Stonewall Jackson statue at the Capitol. Now, most people, when they walk by one of those statues, they don't even give it a second thought. At least I don't. The only reason this whole thing is an issue is because of some of these liberals. They have nothing better to do than make trouble. Now, as far as I'm concerned, they need to get a life.
Got it, sir. Bob in Bridgeport. Hi, Bob. What's your steam?
Everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody's got the internet. Speaking in public is like cooking. You wouldn't throw a bunch of stuff that you have no idea about into a pot and serve it to others. So keep your mouth shut unless you know what you're going to talk about.
Bob got his steam on. Let's go to Richard. Hi, Richard. What's your steam?
Something that kind of irritates me is the people, there's shows on television called the Paternity Court with Lauren Lake. They just, she's a black judge, and they have a couples court where they come over Dana Carver, another woman. I don't know. I can hardly think that it's just a black thing that they talk like that, but they will say, it is very obvious that you pregnant. When we just think they're judges, they probably went to college. I just don't understand how it is that you would say it's very obvious that you pregnant. When I went to school, it's you are pregnant, not you pregnant.
Got it. Thank you very much. Dave. Hi, Dave. What's your steam?
Hoppy, I probably disagree with Michael Tomasi on most issues, but I do respect him. He seems like one of the few liberals you can actually have an honest conversation with, and we need more of that.
Thank you, sir. Fred. Hello, Fred. What's your steam?
Hi, Hoppy.
Hi.
This is least we forget. After Trump's stormtroopers broke down the doors and smashed the windows in the nation's Capitol building, the rest of the Trump followers cannot then walk in with the now successfully stormed and ransacked Senate and House chambers, acting like a bunch of innocents pretending they did not know the riot was still in progress while Trump's stormtroopers were still screaming, hang Vice President Pence and shoot Pelosi. No, Donald Trump, this was no family picnic. It was your well-planned attempt to overturn the election. These facts do trump all Donald Trump's present predictions about his well-planned and almost successful January 6th insurrection there.
Got it, sir. Steam release 1-800-765-TALK. Couple lines just cleared. Let me do some texts. Steam text. Hoppy. How will progressives, especially progressive women, react when entire women's teams are replaced by trans women because they kick the biological women's butts in tryouts and then get paid more money because they're better players? They can't cry sexist because they're not men, remember? Text team. One way to pay for income tax reduction is to investigate all of the rampant fraud in all of the entitlement programs. Too many able bodies draining the system. Text steam release. Steam release, the worst half hour on radio. Just constant babbling. Replace it with Fred Persinger and high school sports. Text, one of the times I truly admired Robert Byrd was when he stood alone to tell Congress it was their responsibility to declare war in Iraq, not the president's. Hoppy, my steam is with the gutless Republicans that still love Trump. Need to get rid of that party for sure. Hoppy, these ridiculously unconstitutional anti-trans laws will be struck down because they violate equal protection. But Republicans will have their wedge issue for a few minutes, and then we'll move on. Hoppy, the breakneck speed that the liberals are destroying our democracy and freedom, which our greatest generation fought and died to protect, is despicable. Take a break and be back. More steam release coming up with you at 1-800-765-8255, 1-800-765-TALK. More steam just ahead from the Encova Insurance Studios.
And now for the good news. There is a way to guarantee that our tax dollars are spent responsibly. A way to make sure we West Virginians are treated with fairness. And a way to stop our tax dollars from needlessly flowing out of state. We can keep those holding the purse strings honest and hold them accountable for their decisions. We can restore responsibility, fairness, and integrity. Find out how. Visit RestoreWestVirginiaIntegrity.com.
Caring for West Virginians with courage and compassion, your community hospital and their heroic men and women rise to the challenge of healing every day. They're working around the clock to keep you, your family, and our communities safe and healthy. West Virginia's hospitals are committed to taking care of you now and always. Defining resilience, up to the challenge. West Virginia Hospitals.
Are you ready to play in a whole new way? Try the game that's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Keno Go! Step 1. Go to a local retailer. Step 2. Create a digital play slip with a lottery app or fill out a paper play slip. Step 3. Watch the Keno Go drawing. Draws take place every 3 minutes. Watch at a retailer or watch on the go in the app. It's fast and fun with a chance to win up to $100,000. So start playing a whole new way today with the West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly, at a distance.
Do you or a loved one live in a nursing home or other long-term care facility and want to return home? You can with the Take Me Home Transition Program. The Take Me Home Transition Program provides services and supports that can help you make a safe and successful transition home. To see if you qualify, visit tmhwv.org or call 304-352-4239 and start planning your transition home today. Visit tmhwv.org for more information. This ad is supported by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services as part of a financial assistance award beginning in 2011 and totaling over $19 million with 92.4% funded by CMS, HHS, and 7.6% funded by the state of West Virginia, totaling over $1.6 million. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views nor an endorsement by CMS, HHS, or the U.S. government.
This is Talk Line on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
What is Real Big Talk? Well, it's an honest conversation that you can be a part of no matter which way you lean. I'm Big Rick, your host of Real Big Talk, and I invite you to join me, Lola, and the rest of this community to discuss our world and the events that unfold daily. Be a part of the conversation at 304-214-1600. Real Big Talk, weekdays 2 to 5 on the Watchdog.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
It's time we put a stop to a few things. Right now, the D.C. establishment has all the power. The For the People Act will stop that. Billionaires buying West Virginia's elections? The For the People Act will stop that. Politicians and their families getting rich while we pay for it? Yep. The For the People Act will stop that too. Senator Manchin, you've always had West Virginia's back. Don't stop now. Stop corruption in its tracks and support the For the People Act, paid for by Represent Us. It's time we put a stop to a few things. Americans voting on machines that aren't made in America? The For the People Act will stop that. States using hackable voting machines with no paper trail? The For the People Act will stop that. Elections with no way to do careful audits or recounts by hand? Yep, the For the People Act will stop that too. Senator Manchin, you've always had West Virginia's back. Don't stop now. Stop election interference and support the For the People Act, paid for by Represent Us. Sherrard, the Watchdog is protecting your yard. Join Howard Monroe, Hoppy Kercheval, Bill DeFabio, and Big Rick for the best live and local talk in the Upper Ohio Valley and beyond. Sherrard trusts the Watchdog.
Metro News Talk Line with Hoppy Kercheval is brought to you by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
And we're broadcasting from the Encova Insurance Studios, and this is Steam Release. Jackpots are in the millions here in West Virginia. Who doesn't want to be a millionaire? Get in the Powerball drawings Wednesdays and Saturdays, and the Mega Millions drawings on Tuesdays and Fridays. Will you be the next big winner? Play today. The Powerball jackpot is $79 million. The Mega Millions jackpot, $240 million. Steam Release at 1-800-765-8255. Greenbrier County and Benny. Hi, Benny. What's your Steam?
Why is it called transgender? Why not call it what it is? Psychosomatic gender. I think, therefore I am.
Steam Release and Ray. Hello, Ray. What's your Steam?
Hey, Abby.
Hey.
I'm tired of all the news media making these police officers look like evil people.
Why hasn't anybody asked that kid's mother at 13 years old what he was doing out at 2 o'clock in the morning with a handgun in a city that has one of the strictest handgun laws out there? That's my steam.
You got it, Ray. You got your steam on. Petersburg and Phyllis. Good morning, Phyllis. What's your steam?
Hobby, why is passing the transgender bill that the majority of West Virginians supported wrong? If that approves to support the transgender participation, then the bill can be reversed. Why should West Virginia be criticized for following their beliefs? The reason we've lost our state's rights is because the powers to be attach a caveat to every issue to force compliance. In my opinion, this is the reason this country's in the shape it's in. People are fed up.
Thank you, Phyllis. Joseph, you are next in Charleston. Hi, Joseph. What's your steam?
Tired of the double standard between the Democratic Party, liberals, and the Republican Party. When Trump won, you heard a bunch of political figures and movie stars calling for the death of the president. And now the Republican Party and supporters want to be labeled as stormtroopers.
Got it. And Paul. Hi, Paul. Your turn. What's your steam, Paul?
Hey, Happy. How are you?
Great. Glad you called, sir.
Hey,
Thank you.
Hey, I just wanted to thank you for being a organ donor. I happen to be myself. Saves a lot of lives every year. I know that firsthand from a friend of mine. I want to give kudos for that.
Thank you.
I did have this image in my mind's eye, though, Hoppy, of a recipient of one of your organs waking up in the ICU. And the doctor asked the nurse how everything's going here. And she says, hey, everything's great, no complications, no signs of rejection. He said, it is peculiar, though. He sits up every hour, at the top of the hour, he spontaneously sits up in bed and says, I'll be right back in 6 minutes.
That would be the downside of getting a Hoppy organ. I can think of a few others, too. Text team. WVU police are resigning at an alarming rate and going to other departments for better pay and retirement. Hoppy, I'd be slow to admit that I was on the police force for 26 years and couldn't tell the difference between my service revolver and my taser by weight or feel. Shame on that female police officer. Hoppy, I agree with the previous comment you had. There are way too many people milking the system that could and should be working. Hoppy, I really can't believe you let people who have no clue get on the air and sound like idiots. Hoppy, you're a good guy. Hoppy, what's the over-under on how long it takes Fred to write his steam release? I'm setting it at 4 days. Legalize it. Hoppy, the medical care for the elderly is a joke. We removed him from his nursing home 2 weeks ago and cannot get a call back from DHHR or his previous nursing home for medical records. Hey, anti-Trumpers, the election's over. Are you still crying? Hoppy, I think it's hilarious that Fred always talks about Trump. He seriously can't move on because Trump lives in Fred's head rent-free. Trump in 2024. Hoppy, I appreciate your logic, calm, and common sense. Your comparison of the Floyd death and 13-year-old being shot was spot on. Why can't people see past the race and police issues and use common sense in these situations? Another, Trump is still living rent-free in Fred's head. Hoppy, are you absolutely positive this is the USA? Denny in Princeton. Hi, Denny. Good morning. What's your steam?
Hoppy, I'll tell you what my steam is, buddy. You know, I've been pulled over several times by police officers. I obey what they say. Nothing happens to me. I was caught in Virginia not speeding not long ago. He come up to me. I said, you got me, didn't you? He said, sir, I appreciate your honesty. Slow her down. These guys, and you've seen the videos, these cops, they beg them to get out of the car. They beg them to cooperate, and they won't do it.
Got it, sir. Marion. Hi, Marion. What's your steam, Marion?
No steam. USDA gave Pennsylvania $1.5 million several weeks ago to combat spotted lambsfly. Maybe you can have somebody come on and talk about this insect not Commissioner Leonhardt, somebody who knows something about it. And thanks for having the cicada researcher on. When he comes back, ask him if this fungus is going to cover the back end of the cicada is an edible fungus. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Bill. Hello, Bill. What's your steam?
Hey, Happy. Hey. How you doing? Yeah, you're on your transgender, whatever. See, you have a very close relative in sports media, and you know Carita, you know Oliver Luck, Mike Florio, whatever. Yesterday, I believe it was, the NFL signed a contract with DraftKings and FanDuel. And the Congress in the United States about bringing antitrust suits maybe against the NCAA or Major Baseball. Pick anyone you want. So in your commentary of how you address, we should study transgender sports or whatever, Mitch McConnell is exactly right. Some of us want to watch the game, okay? We don't need to buy Nike shoes made by the Uyghurs in a slave camp in China.
Thank you, sir. We'll be right back. Steam Release continues at 1-800-765-8255. Text Steam, everyone's either liberal or conservative. What happened, the steamer says? What happened to the moderates?
Fruth Pharmacy is offering curbside pickup. Simply call your local Fruth and ask to place a curbside order. A friendly Fruth associate will call you once your order is complete and let you know when you can come pick it up. Once you arrive, please call your store and their staff will bring your purchase to your car. Fruth Pharmacy wants you to stay happy and healthy. Please feel free to utilize their drive-through, local delivery, and curbside pickup services at this time. Fruth, your hometown family pharmacy.
West Virginia, we have the solution. We have heard about the recent widespread blackouts in Texas, all caused by an over-reliance on renewables and an unstable system that has turned the Lone Star State upside down. Lucky for us, our power system is based almost exclusively on electricity produced from always dependable West Virginia coal. Coal mined in West Virginia and coal-fired electricity are keeping our homes warm, our lights on, and our virtual learning uninterrupted. And it's more important now than ever before to keep our West Virginia coal plants humming, our miners working, and our communities surrounding these plants vibrant. We ask that you please join with us as we salute and say thanks to our hard-working West Virginia coal miners. A message from the West Virginia Coal Association. The Thrasher Group is the region's leading land development and surveying firm. Whether you're looking for a boundary survey, a site plan for an individual lot, an environmental site assessment, or to develop a piece of property, make Thrasher your first call. Their technical professionals are ready to roll up their sleeves and get your job done quickly. When you work with Thrasher, you get hands-on management from local experts with local knowledge. Find out why the Thrasher Group is the firm of first choice for land development and surveying in our area at thethrashergroup.com.
Senator Joe Manchin is right to put West Virginians first and vote against bad partisan policies.
We're not for the new Green Deal. That's not going to happen. We're not for Medicare for all. I've told him we can't even pay for Medicare for some.
Encourage Senator Manchin to keep his promise, to reject a partisan agenda that will hold West Virginians back from reaching their full potential.
Absolutely, I'm telling you unequivocally, I'm not voting to pack any court. Will you not vote to break the filibuster? I says, on top of Robert Seabird's grave, I would make a commitment to you. I would never do that.
Unnecessary red tape, energy mandates, and big government solutions are wrong for the Mountain State. Visit wvvalues.org to tell Senator Manchin. West Virginians depend on you to be the voice of reason in Washington. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
This is Bill DeFabio, your host of the Variety Show with Bill DeFabio. Heard on the Watchdog Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Join me from noon till 2 to talk sports, nostalgia, and hear from some of the legends of the game. You won't believe who I have on next. The Bill DeFabio Variety Show, heard on the Watchdog Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Tune in and get with the program. I'm Bill DeFabio. Join me for the Variety Show on the Watchdog.
Dutch Boy's new Platinum Plus paint with Stain Shield technology has the performance you expect from a luxury paint at a price you didn't. Platinum Plus is up to 50% more washable and stain resistant than a leading premium paint in satin sheen. Superiority ranges from 24 to 50% depending on sheen selected. Platinum Plus keeps your walls looking new longer. Menards and Dutch Boy paint have you covered. Go ahead, live your life.
Right now at Menards, get 11% off everything, including Dutch Boy paint.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the watchdog trusts.
Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands is the perfect place to relax after a long day. Happy hour from 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. Get $2 off appetizers, $3 off domestic drafts, and house wine specials. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA. Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands with another steal of a deal. Get a steak burger and fries all day Monday for only $8.99. It's also Military Mondays. The Lube will take 25% off for all veterans, active duty military, and first responders. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA.
The timeless sounds of polka live here. Join us 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays for the Polka Showcase with Rich Biella. Sunday mornings never sounded so good.
Steam release from the Encova Insurance Studios. Email. Hoppy, my youngest daughter's been a Chicago cop for 20 years, the first 11 in the ghetto on the west side. She was stabbed by a hidden needle as a rookie. The ID'd woman was HIV positive, put my daughter on a cocktail. She's okay now. A drugged up woman with a bloody knife she used on her husband came within 2 feet of where my daughter would have shot her, all the while yelling at her, drop the knife. She's had arm surgery, knee surgery, back surgery, plus other injuries on duty. A split second would be the cop dead. When does the criminal become the bad guy and the cop be the protector? This is Kathleen. Jim in Martinsburg. Hi, Jim. What's your steam?
Hey, Hoppy. Hey. The friends and family of the trumpeter should do an intervention. Otherwise, they're all at risk. Keep the man away from guns.
Got it, sir. Doug, Martinsburg. Hi, Doug. What's your steam?
Well, this past presidential election, it was stolen by the Democrats. Obama was behind it all. Obama is still running this country. He was trained in college by a communist named Saul Alinsky. You can Google this name, Saul Alinsky, and find out exactly what I'm telling you. Thank you.
Thank you. Steam release. And Dwayne. Hello, Dwayne. What's your steam?
I just want to agree with that one caller that talked about where's the parents out of this 13-year-old. I think a way that we need to fix this issue with what's going on in this inner city, crime.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600, WKKX, Wheeling.
Now at noon, there has been another American tragedy after a gunman shot 8 people dead and injured several others at a FedEx facility in Indianapolis before taking his own life. 5 people were transported to hospital and 1 in critical condition. Thank you for joining us for 7 News at noon. I'm Stephen Ruffing. The FBI is now assisting local police with the investigation. Charlie DeMar reports from Indianapolis.
They have an active shooter currently at FedEx.
The late-night shooting unfolded at a FedEx facility near the Indianapolis International Airport.
There was no confrontation with anyone that was there. There was no disturbance. There was no argument. He just appeared to randomly start shooting, and that began in the parking lot, and then he did go into the building, into the facility for a brief period of time.
Police say when they arrived, they encountered the shooter who ultimately took his life.
They found several victims injured and several victims deceased, as well as the suspect.
Witnesses described a chaotic scene.
I saw an assault rifle of some sort. I saw the clip,
and he started firing.
Jeremiah Miller was outside the facility about to start his second shift when he heard the gunfire.
I hear 6 shots fired at once, you know, at a time. Bang, 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 bang.
He says he took cover, then started warning other employees.
My initial thought was, don't die and escape. But then when I started seeing everybody roll up for midnight shift, I felt the need to help people. I felt the need to warn people.
Multiple bullets even struck this car in the parking lot, blowing out its windows. After the shooting, facility workers were rushed into buses and taken to a nearby hotel to reunite with anxious loved ones. Cherise Grice wasn't able to get a hold of her nephew, Raymond, who was inside during the shooting.
We've been calling his phone, texting him. Like they said, their phones are locked up. They can't have him on them at work. So we don't know if he's okay or not. The hospital's couldn't tell us nothing.
No police officers were injured. Investigators are still at the scene trying to determine a motive. FedEx says the company is, quote, deeply shocked and saddened. New details this noon. The bond has been raised for a man arrested on the charge of felony rape of a child under 10 known to him. Belmont County Prosecutor Kevin Flanagan says 50-year-old Robert Eugene Wilson of Wheeling was the subject of an FBI investigation that was turned over to the Belmont County Sheriff's Office. Wilson was arrested by Belmont County detectives on April 14th. We're told that evidence uncovered in this case was particularly graphic and indicative of a sexual predator with more than one victim. Wilson is in the Belmont County Jail on a $1 million bond. Sheriff David Lucas is asking the public to contact the Sheriff's Office at 740-695-7933 if they have any information related to this case. All new at noon, reports from Ohio say a college student died just one day after receiving the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. That student was identified as John Foley, who attended the University of Cincinnati. He was from Columbus. Foley's death is under investigation by the Ohio Department of Health and Hamilton County Coroner's Office. At this time, there's no available evidence to suggest his death is related to the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. This comes just a few days after U.S. health officials recommended a pause in the use of the single-dose shots to investigate reports of rare but dangerous blood clots. Now for the latest on the pandemic in the Mountain State. West Virginia is set to receive more doses of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. That comes as the Johnson & Johnson shot is put on hold. Senator Joe Manchin says more than 5,000 doses will be part of next week's shipment. The federal government recommended stopping the J&J vaccine temporarily after reports of those rare blood clotting conditions. However, state health officials say they haven't seen any cases. And a quick note in Ohio County, there will be no vaccination clinic tomorrow, April 17th. Health officials say that if you have a second dose appointment and didn't receive a reschedule notice, you can just walk in either today or Monday, and that's running from now until 6 o'clock. New statistics show West Virginia has fought off some of the pandemic's devastating economic effects. The state's unemployment rate has dropped below 6%. It's the first time that's happened since the virus hit over a year ago. And even better, it's now only 0.6% higher than where it was in March of 2020. Unemployment peaked in April of 2020 during the lockdown, but has fallen ever since. However, there are still more than 47,000 West Virginians without a job. Now we're taking a look outside this noon. Over the highlands, you see those clouds are still hovering on this dreary day to end the week. And if you walk outside, really cold temperatures, almost starting to feel like winter out there, Zach.
Yeah, it really is. We're noticing that feels like temperature, kind of making it feel like it's in the mid to upper 30s, and some areas still holding on to those temperatures in the lower 40s. So in terms of what we're seeing on visible satellite, well, we are noticing the abundant cloud coverage throughout our neck of the woods and most of the tri-state area, southwestern PA, the northern panhandle, and extending on into southeastern Ohio under gray, thick, and overcast skies. And unfortunately, we're going to continue on that trend into the afternoon. Now, In terms of what we're seeing outside right now here in downtown Wheeling, taking that live look over the Fort Henry Bridge. Here in Wheeling, looks like temperatures out the door ranging in that mid to low 40 range. We do have a prominent westerly wind right around 10 to 15 miles per hour. So that is making it feel slightly cooler. But in terms of what we need to know for the rest of the day, looks like we're going to see temperatures maxing out in the upper 40s to low 50s for a high temperature this afternoon, and the gray and overcast skies will likely continue. But for a full look at your forecast, I do expect to see a bit more cloud coverage into your weekend. I have all those details to share coming up in a few minutes. But for now, we'll send it back over to you, Stephen.
All right, thanks, Zach. Mountain State Senator Shelley Moore Capito says that she objects to President Biden's infrastructure plan. In a press conference Thursday, she and other GOP lawmakers said they're willing to discuss it with Democrats, but they disapprove of the $2.3 trillion package's cost. Capito said she voted for the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act under President Trump, which lowered the corporate tax rate for many businesses. Biden plans to raise that rate to help pay for the improvements, which she says isn't acceptable.
I think that's a non-negotiable red line. I supported that bill. I still believe strongly in the effects that it not just had then, but will have in the future. So for me personally, that's a non-starter.
Senator Capito believes that the lower corporate tax brought workers higher wages and lower unemployment. The Republican senators say an infrastructure plan should be reached in a bipartisan way. The gift of organ donation has saved countless of lives, and April is the month to celebrate it. Today is Blue and Green Day as part of National Donate Life Month, which invites Americans to register as donors. The West Virginia Donate Life chapter is honoring it with several statewide events. One is in Marshall County, where Quality Bake Shop in Moundsville will have some special treats. DonateLife.net has more information on what you can donate and how to do it. And are you ready for outdoor dining at Ogilby once again? The Route 88 Barbecue and Brew will have its grand reopening at the park today. They'll be serving beef brisket, ribs, pork, and other dishes from 11 this morning until 8 o'clock. It's located at the Par 3 driving range, and the park says the patio will be open. Live music will also be heard from 6 to 9 tonight. We'll give you a glimpse of their new menu tonight on 7 News. St. Clairsville is ready for some spring cleaning next week. The city's utility crews will pick up yard waste on Monday through Friday. That includes small tree branches, yard trimmings, and leaves. You can put them in the paper lawn and leaf bags and place near the curb, but not on the sidewalk. In addition, hydrant flushing will take place over the same days. Officials are warning residents that there may be some discoloration in their water or a change in water pressure. If you have any questions, you can call the utilities office at the number on your screen. Still to come, Zach is talking cloudy conditions into the weekend. Find out what that means for our temperatures and his full forecast after the break.
304-214-1600. Call the Watchdog with your thoughts. We'll be right back to Local Talk.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-362-2000, 362-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Give me a call for an all-cash offer at 614-362-2000, 614-362-2000.
Wheeling Coin and Hobby on 10th Street in Wheeling, next to the Bridge Tavern in downtown Wheeling, wants to buy any and all unwanted gold and silver jewelry. They are paying top dollar for 10, 14, 18, and 22 karat gold plus 925 sterling silver. They also want to buy collectible coins and paper money from before 1933. Wheeling Coin and Hobby is open daily from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Coin and Hobby, 304-232-8430, and add them on Facebook.
Hello everyone, from the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker Darnell Foster.
With a look at your local weather forecast for your Friday, mostly cloudy skies, sprinkler or two, high near 57. Overnight low of 38 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. A little bit of sunshine peeking through the clouds for your Saturday. The temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Now it's time for Bill DeFabio on AM 1600 WKKX, The Watchdog.
And here we are. It's always nice to be in the neighborhood for a couple of hours. Well, more than that, because I'm going to have lunch down at the Center Market, spend some money. Yeah, I like to keep my money in West Virginia. The folks here need it. February, Friday, April 16th. Hope you're feeling well. Hope you know who you are. I got to check the mirror a couple of times to make sure who in hell I am. We opened with No More Mr. Nice Guy, but this guy, I've never seen him mad. I've never seen him upset. He's too good to be true. His name is Greg Brown. Greg, I've never seen you mad in, the 35 years I've known you?
An old Irish proverb, Bill, beware the fury of a patient man.
Wow.
I said that to my wife on occasion, and she says, you are right, because I think it's one of the great sayings of all time.
Yeah.
I'm very patient, but on occasion, if I flip my lid, you don't want to be around an old Irishman.
Well, when I was endorsing hairpieces, I used to flip my lid all the time.
Literally.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Yeah, we just got done our first homestand of 2021 and win 2 of 3 against the Chicago Cubs, and you split 4 against the team that many consider maybe even better than the Dodgers, though right now that's not the case. The Dodgers are playing out of this world.
Yeah.
But the Padres are maybe a close second. And to take 2 of 4 from them, it's been a fun year. You started the season in Chicago, you win the opener at Wrigley Field, then you go and you play the hottest team in baseball at the time, the Cincinnati Reds, and you got it taken your hat handed to you in Cincinnati. And like I said, you come home and to be in front of some fans, limited capacity, but to hear them again, to see the smiles of families, kids, husbands, wives, kids, grandkids, boyfriend, girlfriend, young and old alike. It was really neat. It's different. Last year we just got through it, and this year we're enjoying and savoring every moment of it. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I watched the San Diego game. Boy, there were a lot of San Diego fans, or at least fans wearing the jerseys number 44.
Those are called front runners. Look that definition up in your dictionary. Front runners.
Okay.
I know you're not a front runner. You don't just talk to people when they're going good.
No.
You don't just jump on bandwagons.
Well, I do. I did for the Red Sox for no many years. The Red Sox, because they haven't won anything since 2004 when I almost got arrested.
We've talked about this before, that I just don't understand the definition of fanatic. Fandom is to be loyal to your team through thick and thin. And I've been a Chicago Bears fan my whole life. I've been a Pirates fan my whole life. And I don't give up on them regardless of the record. I follow them through the good and the bad.
Yep. And when I die, you'll tell people Bill DeFabio was a good friend.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I know it. I don't have to send you a letter. Whatever. Hey, the one thing I noticed on the broadcast, people are still going, woo, making that noise in the stands. Does that drive you nuts?
That's called the woo.
Yeah. Do you like the woo? I don't like the woo at all.
I got to tell you, I've hated the woo, despised the woo forever. And I've said something on the air. You sound like a bunch of uncivilized animals. However, the woo was, I guess it's a takeoff from, who's the wrestler? Oh, goodness gracious. Hall of Fame wrestler. Ric Flair.
Ric Flair, okay.
Yeah, he started that 20, when he would do interviews and stuff, he'd always, he'd talk about how he's going to beat this guy and that guy, and Randy Savage is going down and, whoa!
Yeah,
He'd end every interview with that.
Yeah, they do that at the Wild Things game. And
so
it drives me nuts.
I've hated it for years. However, I've said this now, that since we're back, because going through last year, 60 games with no one in the stands anywhere and a dead silence, I welcome the woo. I welcome it. I want to hear everything.
Wow.
You don't know what you miss until it's gone.
Yeah.
And I despised it before 2020, and now I'll take anything. I'll take a woo, I'll take a scream, I'll take crying, I'll take yelling, I'll take laughter, anything at all. Bring it on is my feeling.
You want to hear from the Tiger fan? What do you think of the woo, Lola? If you go see the Tigers play, do you want to hear that behind you?
I kind of agree with Greg. It's better to hear something than nothing at all.
Yeah. All right.
Again, well, that's what I feel. Like, I hated the woo before, and I catch myself at PNC Park. I was in Cincinnati when I heard it, and I catch myself for a split second going, "Oh, I hate that," and no, wait a second.
Yeah.
I remember last year when we had no one, nothing, dead silence. It's better than that. It's better than silence.
Just remember, Greg, next year you can go, God, I hate that.
That's true. I guess I can give it a year.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, Greg, we're going to have a new segment here since we only have about 12, 13 minutes. It's called A Couple of Minutes with Greg Brown on Q&A. First question, what do you feel about moving the mound back a foot? We had Kent DeCovey on the other day, and he says it wouldn't bother a pitcher like him. Maybe if you're throwing the breaking ball. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm for doing anything that will improve the game. If they think, there's so much talk about pitchers throwing harder than ever and how more difficult it is to even make contact, all the strikeouts. Yeah, I say try it. Try it in the minor leagues, and I think that might be the solution. If you want more offense, that might be the way to go.
Okay, all right. The game's taken a long time. You were there for that, 4 hours and 17 minutes?
Yeah, was that the home opener?
Yeah, I think so. I fell asleep. Yeah.
Oh, my, yeah. I think it was Tuesday's game. No, it was Tuesday's game. The Pirates won at 8-4, only 8.5 minutes, and it went 4 hours and 7 minutes.
Yeah.
The opener at Wrigley Field in Chicago, the very first game of the season, was an even 4 hours.
Wow. Here's my solution. Why don't the umpires get tough instead of acting like sissies and don't do anything? With the hitters like Colin Moran, who I love. I love the guy. Hope they don't trade him. Sometimes it takes him 7 to 10 minutes per at bat. Every pitch he steps out, goes through his routine, and why don't the umpires through Major League Baseball say, "Hey, get back in there"?
Well, a couple things. First of all, to the point about the 4-hour game, you're right. Baseball shouldn't take 4 hours. I don't know that anything should take 4 hours. The Irishman, the movie, didn't take 4 hours. The one on Netflix, although I think it was close. I do think that that obviously pace of play is important. However, I will say that I think you have to take each game on its own merit.
Yeah.
Some 4-hour games, like the other day and like opening day, for me, in my mind, are entertaining. The one that on Tuesday, as crazy as it was one of the literally wildest games ever in Pirates history. Pirates pitchers walked 13 Padre batters. They hit 3 of them. There were 4 Pirates that were hit in that game, even though the Padre pitchers only walked 4 Pirate batters. There was crazy drama in that game. Balls were being thrown around, not just by the pitchers, but by the infielders. The Padre infielders committed 2 throwing errors. So for me, there was drama in that game, and I didn't mind it. The same thing with opening day at Wrigley Field in Chicago. It was 4 hours, but there was drama. And in fact, there were back-to-back 2.5-hour games in Cincinnati. 2.5 hours, which is, that's like, you're talking about, the early 18th century stuff, it seems like. The last time we had 2.5-hour games. Because I was in Cincinnati doing the radio games, I had an engineer in the booth with me, and I try to do the totals after each game, try and make it official, the runs, the hits, the errors, the left on base. And I got the attendance, 11,463, and I didn't hear the press box announcement of the time of game. This is both nights, back-to-back games, were 2 hours and I think 35 minutes, I think both of them. And I turned around, took my headset off, I said, "Did you catch the time of game?" And he said, 2:35. And I said, "You mean 3:35? He said, "No, 2:35. Well, for me, those games felt like 3.5 hours, not 2.5 hours. Wow. Just the way the game went. Yeah. And to your question about what umpires, why don't they get tough? They don't get tough because they have to answer to someone.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
And so the only way that they will get tough is if they have a backing behind them, and that means the powers that be at Major League Baseball. They have to back them. They tried that about 10, maybe 8 years ago. They tried to speed up the game in spring training. They told the hitters to get back in the box. In fact, there was a rule that if the player didn't keep at least 1 foot in the box, in the batter's box, he would be fined once the season started. Well, during spring training, those games were moving because the hitters said, "Okay, I'll keep my foot in the box." Once the games counted for real, the hitters said, "The heck with you, umpire. I'm trying to make a living here. You can go ahead and fine me $1,000. I don't care. Because I'll make more money by hitting a home run here. And if it takes 3 minutes to get this done, I'll take 3 minutes."
Yeah.
I love Colin Moran's at bats, Bill.
Okay.
I know he takes forever. I'm fascinated to watch him.
Yep.
He is a stud. Just watch his at bats. Each pitch, he'll step out of the batter's box. He'll adjust his batting gloves.
Yeah.
But you could see all the things running through his mind. He's running through all the things. Okay, what's this guy trying to do to me? How's he pitching me? Where should I hit the ball? You just see it. So I think he's fascinating to watch.
All right. Can you take a call before I have a next question for you?
Sure.
All right, let's go to the phones.
It's Jerry.
Good afternoon,
Gary?
Greg. How you doing? How's it going?
Hey, Gary. How you doing, Gary?
Jerry.
Great. It's always an honor to talk to you. I've talked to you before on this station, but I attended Monday night's Padres-Pirates game at home. And I just have a question. Did you get to do that game?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain to me the Padres shift to start an inning? I understand during an inning, but to start some of the innings, the Padres took Machado from third base and put him in short right field, leaving basically that whole side of the field open for the leadoff batter for the Pirates. Why couldn't the Pirates slap at that and hit that down the third base line to get somebody on?
Oh, well, that's the age-old question, Gary. That's what's being done down in the minor leagues now. They're actually, and I vehemently disagree with this, but they're actually forcing in the one level of the minor leagues this year, there's going to be a hard set rule that you have to keep all your 4 infielders on the infield dirt. So they're forcing teams in the minors, to see, this is an experiment, to see if this works. They're trying to get more offense in the game because they feel like these shifts have cost teams batters, and to your point about not having your third baseman playing shallow right field, taking hits away. Rather than the hitters adjusting, they're forcing the defensive team, in this case the Padres, and in the minor leagues, as I said, one level, I forget which, it might be the double A. You have to keep all 4 infielders on the infield dirt. That will not be allowed. And I disagree. I think the offense should, by, again, why not? As you said, why not flap a ball, bunt a ball? It was during this homestand that Brian Reynolds, they shifted him, the Padres, and he dropped down a perfect bunt. A perfect bunt. He squared, I think that was the Monday night game. He squared, it might have been against the Cubs, but he squared, didn't square early, or late. He squared early as the pitcher was going into the stretch, and he just took his time and directed that ball right toward the vacated area. It was against the Chicago Cubs, actually, on Sunday, and he dropped down a perfect bunt. I don't know why more players don't do it. I don't know why more teams don't teach it. And I think it's a shame that they're forcing opponents, the defense, to instead of the hitter, to force the defense to go back to where they were. They're forcing defenses not to shift, and I don't think it's right.
You still have your meeting at 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so maybe we can keep you a couple of minutes after 12:30?
Sure.
Okay, all right. 2 more questions. We'll take one question before the break, and then I'll let you take a coffee break for a couple of minutes, and we'll come back. There have been at least 6 bench-clearing incidents. Why is it? Are these guys like sissies? They don't like to be hit? They don't like to be talked to? What's wrong?
Well, I mean, there have been bench-clearing brawls and incidents for over 100 years. I mean, that's not new. What's new is that they have tried to take the game away from the players. It used to be back in the day, now there weren't as many bench-clearing incidents because when Bob Gibson hit you back in the 1960s, you decided as a team, okay, we're going to hit one of their players, and that was it. It was over. You just it was protocol. You just knew it. Well, now, because they want to take bench-clearing brawls completely out of it, they have decided that if a pitcher hits a batter, they're going to warn both benches and take it out of the player's hands. And so when it does happen on the rare occasions, it's magnified. So because there are not nearly as many incidents where pitchers are hitting batters, when it does happen, they take umbrage. These players take umbrage, and they take exception to it, and they start to clear the benches and say, hey, what are you doing? You're not supposed to hit me. You're not supposed to knock me off my feet. And it's just magnified. But players have been hit, Bill, for over 100 years. You know this.
Oh, yeah.
Pitchers have been hitting batters for over 100 years. But it's not that they're just more sensitive to it because they want to take injury out of sports. They want to take injuries out of sports completely, and it drives me nuts. One of the reasons why they're paid so much, Major League, not just baseball players, this happens in football and basketball and hockey. How about they're taking fighting out of hockey?
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Injuries? I don't know.
Yeah, they want to take injury. They want to make it completely antiseptic, sterile.
Yeah.
They want to take personalities out of sports. Yeah. And it's all cyclical. It'll get back someday. Maybe not in our lifetimes, but someday it'll go completely. And I'll tell you why. I was thinking about this last night. How much time before your break?
About a minute.
Okay.
Want to continue this?
Okay. We'll wait after.
No, Nola says we can go.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
What's one of the most popular sports among younger fans? Because that's when I hear what baseball wants to do. They want to attract the younger fans. So, one of the most popular sports among the younger demographic is the UFC fighters, MMA, Ultimate Fighting Champions. Those ratings are through the roof.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
And let me ask you a question. Do you think that's a bit violent? Have you ever seen a UFC fight?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I get the heebie-jeebies watching the guy that's getting the crap beat out of him.
They knock the living...
Yeah.
what out of them?
Yeah. People like that. People like that. You know,
two men in an enclosed ring, fenced-in ring, like animals. Two women. They do the same thing with the women, and it's the most popular sport in America right now. I think in terms of ratings, it's certainly right up there with maybe football. Yeah. And by the way, that's one of the reasons football is still popular is because you want to see somebody get their head knocked off.
Yeah.
So, what are you trying to do? Why are you trying to take away injuries and violence? That's part of professional sports. That's why boxing was popular 75 years ago.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
So what they've done in baseball, they've taken the home plate collision away. They have taken the neighborhood play away at second base. You've seen videos. You may remember these days when you want to Google something. Google Hal McRae breaking up a double play in a playoff game.
Yeah,
Royals against the Yankees.
I remember that.
Where he takes the shortstop into left field with him as he slides into second base.
Yeah.
The middle infielder had a decision to make. He was either going to stand his ground. Bill Mazeroski, Dick Grote, they had decisions to make. Frank Taveras, Tim Foley, Phil Garner, the middle infielders of the Pirates. They had decisions to make. They could either stand their ground and risk bodily injury or get the heck out of the way and let the man slide into second base and not try and turn a double play.
Yeah.
Take the throw from the second baseman, if you're the shortstop, and get the heck out of there for your life. Or stand your ground, throw that ball to first base, and risk being completely toppled over and maybe break a leg or a shoulder. Now, that sounds barbaric, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
But take a look again. Watch a UFC fight and tell me that's not barbaric.
It is barbaric.
Watch the occasion, because occasionally in the NFL, they will allow this. Now, I think, I don't watch as many NFL games certainly as I used to when I was broadcasting them, but I think on occasion you will still see a susceptible defender, receiver, get clobbered at midfield, and he has to make a decision. He either makes the catch as he leaps in the air, again, totally susceptible to a cornerback or a safety, knowing this guy's going to come and I'm going to have my bell rung badly. Or he gator arms it. He doesn't go after the ball entirely and lets the ball slip out of his fingertips. That's part of what sports is about.
Yeah.
That's what makes them great. Yeah. That's what makes, for me, Hines Ward one of the greatest receivers in football history. Because Hines Ward was ready to take it in the middle of that field.
And he could deliver it, too.
And he would deliver it, too. Same thing. Yeah. Now, again, it's being muddied somewhat because of this, the rule, and I'm not sure how it's interpreted now, that how you lead with your helmet. You can't be around the neck area and all that stuff. Now, I don't know how many. I think a study should be done. No, I don't think it will be. Maybe it is quietly in some laboratory somewhere. But I'd be interested to know truly how many concussions and injuries have been reduced in the last, say, 25 years, as opposed to the previous 25 years. All these rules, all this stuff that's going on in baseball, the 100-pitch limit, how many injuries are truly being reduced when all is said and done? Yeah. I'd be willing to bet that it's minimal. Yeah. The number of concussions, I think it's minimal. The ones that are being, again, reduced because of all these rules. Because the more you try and play safety cop, and the more you try and sterilize a sport and a game, I think the more injuries happen because you're not playing all out.
Yeah, you're right. You know what I watched the other day? It was an ugly video. I forgot how ugly it was when I was a kid because you didn't have ESPN or anything. Juan Marichal hitting Johnny Roseboro with a bat.
No, I mean, and I'm not advocating for that, by the way. There certainly have to be some rules and limitations. But I think that the game should be played on the baseball diamond, on the football field, on the gridiron, on the ice. And I think that you have to let the players play. Because what's happening now is the more you try and dictate, the more you police. And then now it trickles down into the minor leagues. It trickles down into colleges. It trickles down into high school. It trickles down into Little League, to Pee Wee football. And it changes the game, and it changes the mindset of these athletes, both amateur and professional. And they lose sight of what it's all about. Contact sports is how we grew up. That's how you become who you are as a person. It trickles out into society. It used to be that's where we, when we were on the field, that's where we let our testosterone reach its peak. That's how we vented, by going out and playing sports. So when you don't do that, look what happens to society. I'm telling you, it's a bad deal. We got to let players play, women and men alike, and let them go out on the field, and let them go out on the ice, and let them play, and again, let them vent, let them take their frustrations out on the sports. That's where you got your adrenaline rush. When we limit that, it seeps out now into society, and I think, as crazy as this may sound, that has a lot to do with how crazy society outside of sports has become. Because we're becoming sterile, we're becoming robotic, we're not letting people live their lives, and it's a bad deal, man. It's a bad deal, and it starts, I think, with sports and trying to police sports and trying to police everything. Let the players play. Even if you get hurt, you're going to get hurt. That's what sports is about. It's the risk. And the more money you make, the more risk there should be. So when you go out there and you play football or baseball or hockey, I hear people say, we got to stop these stars from being injured. It's not right. Well, no, wait a minute. That's why they make the big bucks.
Wow. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I forgot what's my last thing I wanted to ask you.
You said something about it. In Milwaukee.
Yeah, I was watching a Milwaukee game the other night, and the announcers were talking about the scoreboard, and then, they had a camera. That scoreboard is almost as big as the stadium, or are my eyes getting bad?
No, it's 54 feet high, 110 feet wide.
Oh.
And the entire structure is 105 feet high and 168 feet wide. So, it's one of the largest scoreboards in baseball. Your eyes have not deceived you.
Wow. Is that one of your favorite ballparks to work in?
It is. Now, I'm not a big fan of enclosed structures, because I think it's hard to... it's difficult for them. They do their best, but when you have a roof over a stadium, you just can't create the same kind of atmosphere like a PNC Park, the open ballpark. Yeah. You don't have the sight lines. It's just, going back to that word, it becomes sterile. It's almost like an airport hangar that they try and make look nice inside. But Miller Park, when it's open, because they can open those panels out in the outfield by that big scoreboard, they have those glass panels they can open up, and the roof is open on a summer night. That's pretty cool.
Okay. Hey, Greg, we got to go. Some great stuff about the changes, not only in sports, that, equals what's happening in life, because it's crazy out there. So
yeah, it's nuts.
All right, I'll let you go, and we'll talk sometime next week. Have fun.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Lola.
See ya.
Okay.
See ya.
We're going to take a break. We are The Variety Show from 12 to 2. I'm Bill. Across the way is Lola. Hopefully you know who you are. Just keep listening to AM 1600.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Chris Lawrence. Jury selection underway in a Morgan County courtroom this hour in a high-profile murder case. 33-year-old Andy McCauley allegedly murdered 15-year-old Riley Crossman 2 years ago.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gellner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
Island Pawnbrokers is now your local firearm dealer. In a pinch? Need cash quick? See us before going to the big box stores. Paying top dollar for firearms, gold, silver, tools, coins, and electronics. Don't lose your good credit. Let us give you instant cash. Stop by 2 North Broadway Street on Wheeling Island, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Island Pawnbrokers. Stop in for instant cash.
Oh, there's something so real about living local, and I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I love to live in local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Say I love to live in local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love to be.
There's a place where family and tradition are forged in the West Virginia hills, strengthened by the inspiration of a world-class education, where hands-on learning is encouraged and applied. A community where you will be supported and be inspired to support others. An experience that is more than just a university, it's a place you'll call home. A legacy you'll leave for generations to come. It's all here at West Liberty University.
The Wheeling Nailers are back at it against the Fort Wayne Comets, Sunday, April 18th, puck drops 4:10. Enjoy a fun day with the Nailers and see possible future NHL stars. 65 former Nailers and Thunderbirds have already reached the NHL. Experience the 29th season of pro hockey in Wheeling. Get tickets now for the Nailers game, Sunday, April 18th at Westbanco Arena. Call 304-234-GOLD or visit WheelingNailers.com. This is Nail City.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-362-2000, 362-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Give me a call for an all-cash offer at 614-362-2000, 614-362-2000.
I'm Big Rick, host of Real Big Talk, weekday afternoons on the Watchdog. This show is about the now in our world. Breaking stories, local, statewide, national, and around the world discussed right here on the Watchdog. Join me, Mola, and other folks from the Valley as we discuss news as it happens. What is Real Big Talk? Well, it's an honest conversation that you can be a part of no matter which way you lean. Real Big Talk, weekdays on the Watchdog.
Rumors spread around, United Texas town, about to shack outside the game. You know what I'm talking about. Just let me know if you wanna go to that whole mile on the range. They got a lot of nice girls. And you got the time. I never have to get yourself and I hear this twang. I'm on every night. But now I might.
Well, we're
refresh my memory. All those guys in ZZ Top had the big beard, right? What do you think? I'd look good with a beard that's about a yard long?
Yours is almost there.
Yeah. You still like it?
No.
Oh.
Well, let me see.
No,
your
that's
neck.
okay.
Well, at least you're keeping your neck cleaner.
Yeah.
But your mustache is still on.
Yeah. Okay.
Just, you ask.
No, that's okay, you know. You know, I only need to satisfy one female in my life, right? And she likes it.
Yeah.
Although when I'm scratching, she goes, "What are you doing? Getting that pizza out of your chin?" No, where'd you? Come on. All right. You know, I was looking at the ratings for MMA. They are unbelievable. And I got a lot of friends that just love it. They love watching two guys in a cage killing each other. You know, I got friends that go to car races to watch crashes and stuff. You go to a boxing match to see guys kill each other, you know? So, well, whatever. But back to baseball and hitting hitters, whatever. Back in the day, if Bob Gibson hit you, you knew better than go to the mound because he'd hit you with his fist. Same with Don Drysdale. The Pirates had a guy you didn't want to mess with in the early 60s, Bob McVeal. He threw a fastball that Bob Prince said, you know, you can't see it, but you can hear it. The radio ball, all right? What was that video a few years ago with Nolan Ryan? He hits a guy, and the guy came out, and Nolan put his arms around his head and was pounding him and pounding him. So whatever. It is part of the game. We can't sissify the sports. These guys make a lot of money. Let them do what they want to do. It's more entertaining. So yeah. If you ever have a chance, watch that video with Juan Marichal. I think it was 62, pounding John Roseboro. Roseboro was a catcher for the Dodgers. Juan Marichal was the pitcher for the Giants, and he clobbered Johnny Roseboro. One, it didn't kill him, you know. That was ugly. And, Lola, have you seen the ugly incident that AAU girls basketball game in Indiana? Have you seen that? Well, if you haven't, folks, just punch up Indiana girls basketball brawl. I guess one team was leading the other team by a big score. The referee called a technical foul on the team that was losing. And they started to pack, the girls started to pack, and they got away. They were leaving. And then some guy who was filming everything and got in the face of the referee got punched by the referee. Then the guy with the camera, he went MMA on that guy. And you see a bunch of people jumping on the referee, and the guy with the camera flipped him over on his back. It's a wonder he didn't break his neck. And then you see one of the girls punching and kicking the guy, the referee, while he was on the floor. Oh, boy. It was ugly. It was ugly, you know? I couldn't be a referee today. I couldn't work in law enforcement today. No way, you're not going to win. Who's on the phone line?
It's Dan.
Yeah, Dan.
As the late, great Doc Ellis said, I'm going to hit every one of these SOBs until they take me out of the game.
Yep.
But they couldn't fight with him because he gave them a good warning before he did it.
Yep.
They knew it was premeditated.
Yep. Kent Jacoby talks about that. We had him the other day, and I remember that incident. He went in the locker room and said, I'm going to hit you, you, and you, and you, and he did.
He did it.
We need more Doc Ellises around.
Well, you remember when he went out on the pitching mound and he had all them curlers in his hair?
Yeah, that was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. The good old days, right?
The good old days, yeah.
All right, Dan. Thanks for the good memory. Oh, I remember that. Doc Ellis, what a crazy interview. I had to edit every time I interviewed him because every other word was, words we can't use. 4 letters, 11 letters, talking about mamas and that. But Doc Ellis was a character. He was afraid of no one. And whether or not he was high when he pitched a no-hitter, I don't know. I know one thing. He can't remember the fastball he threw to Reggie Jackson over Tiger Stadium over the light standard, which was pretty high, wasn't it, Lola? That ball hasn't come down. What a character. We need more characters. We don't have enough of them in sports, I miss Jack Lambert telling the reporters, you can't touch the quarterbacks, so they should wear dresses. He says that today, probably get fined. I don't know. You can't speak your mind today. I got to be careful what I say. That's why I don't indulge in politics. I'm not left, I'm not right. I am right-handed, though. I'm into guns, but I know a lot of people that listen to me and people I work with don't like guns, so that's okay. I don't want to make anybody upset. I can't even spell pro-gun or anti-gun. But you got to be careful what you do, even if you have a platform. Of course, if you're LeBron James, you can say anything you want because he's LeBron James. And you know what? I miss him and Anthony Davis playing. I watched the Celtics rip the Lakers last night. Lowell and I could have contributed more to the Lakers offense than what I watched last night. You know, you want to see the best play? Well, the Lakers were minus about 5 players, including Anthony Davis and LeBron James. You want to see the best, no matter how much they get paid. You know, you want to see the best perform. All right, I'm getting off my stool here. By the way, April is organ donor month. You have that little note on your driver's license to donate your organ?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. I think all my organs are done. I don't know. I don't even think I can donate blood. By the way, there's a big Red Cross thing coming up that was canceled. We're going to have the lady on next week, next Thursday. And also the folks at Red Cross, the sickle cell folks, they're going to be working with the local fire department, okay? She's going to give you all the details. She's from Parkersburg. She's going to be in Steubenville that morning, and she's going to drop by live in the studio to tell you about a good community service thanks to the fire department in Wheeling and the American Red Cross, okay? That's coming up. All right. This is the latest, Lola, out of Vegas. In the AFC North, I know you don't care, but I'm going to tell you what the Lions are expected to do. In the AFC North, the so-called experts have Baltimore winning 11 games, the Cleveland Browns winning 10, the Steelers 9, and the Bengals 5. Your Detroit Lions in the North Division of the NFC are predicted to win 6 games. Will you take 6 wins? Is that a good season?
At this juncture, I will take any wins.
So that means they will finish 6-11, because I got to remind myself these guys are playing 17 games. So let's see, the Steelers 9, they would be 9-8, right? Yeah, okay. I don't know about Cleveland. I think the Steelers are just as good as Cleveland, Baltimore, whatever. You know?
I think Cleveland is going to do really, really well.
Yeah.
They've been making good trades.
Yeah, they have.
Draft is coming up. It's.
By the way, what's the record of your Tigers? Is it the same as the Pirates? The Pirates are 5-8. Okay.
I think that's what we are too. I don't know.
And the Pirates, I think, play in Detroit, coming up after Milwaukee.
Yeah, they do.
Let's check the handy-dandy scoreboard here. It's hard to believe that the Yankees are a couple games.
Cleveland's really starting to pick up.
Yeah. The Pirates are 5-8. The Tigers are 6-7.
Oh.
They play at 6-7 Oakland. Now let's see when.
Oakland kicked our butt yesterday.
Yeah, they did. Okay, let's see when the Pirates play your Tigers. I think it's Tuesday.
Yeah, it's
Is it
next
Tuesday?
week.
Yeah. Okay. You'll get to watch that, right?
Yeah, that I will. Are they down to what time?
Okay. On Tuesday, it's 4:20. Oh, no, that's April 20. Ooh, DeFabio. 6:40. Okay? And then Wednesday is 6:40. Okay? And I think Thursday is an afternoon game. Hold on. 1:10. So that means we're going to have to get Greg Brown on again on Friday. Yeah. He has no problem. I said, hey, you know, if it's a hassle, I'll get John Wayner on. He goes, no, I like to talk to your people. And I like talking to Lola. That didn't make me feel good, but that's okay. Do you remember as a youngster a football player named Leroy Keys, Lola?
No.
I do. He was a Purdue All-American. He was just named the most valuable football player ever to wear a Purdue uniform. And you got to remember, Purdue was the home of a former Steeler who's in the Hall of Fame, Rod Woodson, and a pretty good quarterback who I hated because he always used to beat Pittsburgh, Bob Greasy. Leroy Keys, I got to see him when he was at Philadelphia Eagles. I got to see him at Pitt Stadium, and I think he rushed for like 80 yards in the first half. He was real good, but you know what? He had problems with injuries. But he had a great college career. He was third in the Heisman Trophy balloting in 1967. Runner-up to, I didn't commit murder, O.J. Simpson in 1968. But he was a guy who could play several positions. Running back. With the Eagles in the NFL, he was a running back and he played defensive back. He was a kickoff returner, and he handled kickoff duties. This guy, if he was in baseball, he could play every position. He was that good. But you know what? He had a short career in the NFL. One of the all-time greats. And I got to see him. He passed away at the age of 74. Ooh, he's only 5 years older than me. Yeah. I couldn't believe it, Kent DeColvey. I thought he was like 10 years older than me. Yeah, only a few more years, so. But I remember Leroy Keys. Great. I thought the Steelers wanted to draft him back then. You know, there was the O.J. Simpson Bowl. You know, the Steelers were going to draft O.J. at one time, and I think they settled for a guy named Joe Green. I'm glad they did that, you know. O.J. Simpson had some pretty good games against the Steelers. But the Steelers in a big playoff game shut him down to, 23 yards? Yep. And but those were good rivalries, too, in the early 70s, Buffalo and the Steelers. Then it was the Steelers and Miami. But, you know, the greatest, and I still say today, and I talk to my friends, I have a couple of friends in Oakland, San Francisco area, that the Raiders-Steelers rivalry, when there were fights and bad language and everything, back in the 70s was great. The Oilers and the Steelers was a great rivalry, too, okay? And baseball, I miss Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Well, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh play a lot. But the Mets, when they had Dwight Gooden, Darryl Strawberry Fields forever, that was a great rivalry. Benches would clear in that one, too. Very few teams wanted to pick a fight with the Pirates back in the 70s and early 80s, because the Pirates would send out, without boxing gloves, Willie Stargell, who would kick the manure out of you, Dave Parker, who would beat up on his teammates if they started trouble, and then there was the catcher that everybody thought was a nice guy because of his smile, but he was one of the best boxers in Panama as a youngster, Manny Sanguillen. Al Oliver, Scoops, was a badass. Yeah, you didn't want to mess with the Pirates. Today, it's all talk. Well, you don't want to fight me, I don't want to fight you, but we'll talk about your mama. I like fights. You like fights, Lola? Come on. You like to see a good, clear, bench-clearing brawl, don't you?
It depends. I don't know. It's on one hand, I understand why they do it. On the other hand, what kind of an example are you setting for kids watching?
Yeah, that's
Yeah. See, what I really disagree with is trying to eliminate fights in hockey.
Yeah.
I mean, hockey is one of the most incredibly frustrating games there is.
Yep.
Hockey and soccer.
Yep, you're right on both games. Yep.
And just not letting them fight. Let them play. Period. Let them play.
Let them play.
There's all this crap too of whistles every 2 minutes. Jeez, pizza. Yeah. Let them play. I don't want to see anybody get boarded so bad that they have to be carried out on a stretcher or anything.
No,
but
I don't want to see that. Yeah. On this date, 1966, it was the year that Roberto Clemente, his Pirates didn't win a pennant, but he was the MVP during the season. On this date in 66, he hit a home run. Manny Mota, what a great pinch hitter he was, had a 2-run triple. The Pirates got a rare win over the Cardinals 5-2. The loss in St. Louis, 18-game winning streak at a place I loved, Forbes Field. Yeah, that weekend, the final weekend of the 66 season, all the Pirates had to do was win a series against the Giants, and the Pirates, and not the Dodgers, because the Dodgers took advantage of the Giants beating the Pirates at Forbes Field. It could have been the Pirates and the Orioles in the 66 World Series. Instead, it was the Dodgers and the Orioles in the 66 World Series, and the Dodgers got swept by the Orioles in 4 straight. And that was a Dodger team that had a young Don Sutton, a pretty young Don Drysdale, and a veteran pitcher called Sandy Koufax. But the Orioles were stacked, and they had a guy that won a Triple Crown named Frank Robinson. Okay. Funny I can remember that, but I don't know what I did yesterday. Oh, yeah, I lost my keys. Okay. It's not going to happen again, I hope. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll start hour number 2. DJ Abicella has a couple of minutes to talk about another game canceled because of bad ice. And it wasn't bad ice in Wheeling, but bad ice in Indianapolis. Can you believe it? We'll be right back.
Take me downtown. I'm just looking for some touch. I've been bad, I've been good. Down those taxes, I've been good. I ain't asking for much.
Watchdog is FM 98.1 W251CY, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7 W249DU, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Authorities in Indianapolis are searching a home that could belong to the unidentified gunman from last night's mass shooting at a FedEx facility that killed 9, including the shooter. Police are looking for a motive. FBI Special Agent Paul Keenan.
FBI personnel are assisting the crime scene, conducting interviews.
President Biden ordering flags lowered to half staff until Tuesday. ABC's Pierre Thomas says the latest mass shooting marks an increase nationwide.
Mass shootings where 4 or more people are killed or wounded, not including the shooter, have nearly doubled from 2018 to 2020. While the numbers have been spiking in general, last year we saw a lull for those happening in public places because the pandemic has shut us down. Now with so much of the nation opening up again, we're seeing more and more gunmen going to public places with deadly intentions.
Today marks 100 days since the U.S. Capitol attack, and for the first time, a guilty plea from one of the defendants.
During the riot, the FBI said John Schaefer sprayed U.S. Capitol police officers with bear spray and was photographed inside the U.S. Capitol. He's pleading guilty to unlawfully entering restricted grounds with a weapon and disrupting an official proceeding as Congress was meeting to certify the Electoral College. 100 days after the insurrection, Schaefer becomes the first defendant to plead guilty. There are more than 400 defendants who have been arrested in 45 different states.
ABC's Aaron Katursky. The FDA pause on the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine will remain for at least another week until the CDC panel can meet, and they're defending the delay.
CDC Director Rochelle Walensky said today a panel of independent experts will continue to review and assess the vaccine after at least 6 people out of about 7 million who got the shot suffered from rare blood clots.
We want to convey to the American public we have 2 vaccines that are readily available, the Pfizer and the Moderna, and people should continue to roll up their sleeves to get vaccinated.
Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
You're listening to ABC News.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Germany following Washington's lead, withdrawing troops from Afghanistan.
Second to the U.S., it's Germany that has the most troops in Afghanistan, with 1,109 soldiers on the ground. A spokesperson for Germany's Federal Ministry of Defense confirming to ABC News they will now be coming home in September. This comes just days after the U.S. announced it would also leave Afghanistan, effectively ending America's longest war. NATO allies deciding on Wednesday to start withdrawing forces from the Resolute Support mission in Afghanistan by May 1st and to complete the drawdown of all troops within a few months. Inez de la Quatera, ABC News, Paris.
Minneapolis stepping up security ahead of the Derek Chauvin verdict, which could come next week. Jurors preparing to start deliberations after closing arguments begin Monday in the murder trial of the former police officer. He chose not to testify.
The problem for Derek Chauvin in taking the witness stand is he would have had to explain not just why he put his knee onto George Floyd, but why he had it there in minute 7 and minute 8, etc. And I think that there just weren't good enough answers for that.
ABC News chief legal analyst Dan Abrams. A race against time and bad weather for divers off Louisiana, soon entering a capsized commercial ship to search for oil industry workers. Searchers hope all 12 have found air pockets to survive, but there have been no recent signs of life. One person was found dead, 6 rescued earlier. This is ABC News.
Hi, I'm calling to schedule a shipment.
Indeed knows unexpected employee turnover can turn your business upside down.
Pick up is at 7? Team, we gotta hustle.
Like at Sunita's online tag company, to avoid back orders, she needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
This is ONN.
Governor Mike DeWine says health orders will be lifted when Ohio has 50 or fewer coronavirus cases per 100,000 people, but some counties now have 6 times that many. ONN's Dave James reports.
Lucas County, including Toledo, leads the state with 341 cases per 100,000. Hancock and Summit, which include Findlay and Akron, are at or above 300. And 6 more counties are above 250. They are Cuyahoga, Sandusky, Erie, Madison, Wood, and Jefferson. As for the statewide cases per 100,000, DeWine says,
at one point it was over 700, went way down. We were down, I think, as low as 135, something about in that area. Unfortunately, it's now at 200.
Dave James, ONN News.
And Ohio's major cities have all had officer-involved shootings in recent days or weeks. January Keaton with affiliate station WKYC-TV in Cleveland takes a statewide look.
There have been 180 shootings that involve police officers in Ohio since 2015, and that's according to a study released by the Washington Post. This averages to about 30 shootings per year by police officers. Now, young men are more involved in police shootings, with 95% of all people shot by police being male. Of course, many police shootings are justified because they have to make sure that they maintain the safety of the public and themselves. On Cleveland's East Side, January Keaton.
And I'm Daniel Barnett on the Ohio News Network.
Stand by. You're back to live and local programming in moments on the Watchdog. For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them, just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Toyota RAV4 is the #1 selling SUV in America over the last year. Available as a hybrid and with all-wheel drive, it has the style and versatility for all your life's adventures. And through May 3rd, get up to $1,250 cash back from Toyota on select new 2021 RAV4s. Shop Toyota's official website for deals via Toyota.com. Then see your Toyota dealer. Go Toyota, and let's go places.
Hello everyone, from the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker Darnell Foster with a look at your local weather forecast for your Friday. Mostly cloudy skies, sprinkler or two, high near 57. Overnight low of 38 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. A little bit of sunshine peeking through the clouds for your Saturday. The temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. Have yourself a great day everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas you just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Now it's time for Bill DeFabio on AM 1600 WKKX, The Watchdog.
Took my family away from my Carolina home. Had dreams about the West and started to roam. 6 long months on a dust-covered trail. They say heaven's at the end, but so far it's been hell. And there's fire on the line.
I want to go back to that 66 Dodger pitching staff. I just Googled it. Then I went on it's like a Los Angeles looking back Dodgers, what history. That pitching staff, I think, was like top 3 all time. Listen to these names, because 4 of these guys pitched in the All-Star game that year. You had Jim Brewer, real good guy. I think he was the number 3 guy. Then you had Don Drysdale, tough right-hander. Sandy Koufax, maybe one of the best lefties ever. Bob Miller, who was a good middle inning guy. Joe Mahler, coming out of the bullpen, good. Claude Osteen, great starter. Ron Peronowski, one of the best relief pitchers of all time, coming out of the bullpen. And another starter, a number 4 starter, who could have been number 1 with all the other National League teams, Johnny Padres. And with all those great pitchers, they lost 4 in a row to the Orioles in the World Series in '66. Of course, the Orioles were loaded too. They had a rookie pitcher named Jim Palmer, okay? So they had great hitters too, you know. Boog Powell, a veteran who won the Triple Crown, Frank Robinson, because that's one of the all-time great steals. He went from Cincinnati to Baltimore, and Baltimore sent a bad pitcher to Cincinnati. He wasn't around after a couple of years, and Frank Robinson continued to have great years. So, yeah, I like to look back at. I remember that weekend. All the Pirates, I think, had to do was take 2 out of 3 from the Giants, and they couldn't. I think they lost all 3, or else they could have been playing the Orioles again in the World Series. But they made up for it 5 years later by beating the Orioles in the '71 World Series and also the '79 World Series. Pirate note from 1953, I was 2 years old, and I do not remember this. Danny O'Connell's 3-run home run in the 5th inning broke up a slugfest and gave the Pirates a 14-12 win over the Philadelphia Phillies in the home opener at Forbes Field. The Pirates recorded 27 hits, but the game only drew 16,000 fans. The temperature at game time, 34 degrees. Ooh. One of the all-time greats from Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Every time I'm in Latrobe, I go past the Arnold Palmer Cadillac showroom, wishing that I could buy one of those new caddies, but that's okay. On this date in 1958, Arnold Palmer edges Doug Ford, Doug was a pretty good golfer, by 1 stroke to win the Green Jacket and the Masters. And I think he won, $40,000? Today these guys get $1 or $2 million. Me, I'd like to have the Green Jacket. Probably get a few bucks of that on eBay, right? Yeah. The Pirates, they're in action against Milwaukee. Game 1 of a 3-game series tonight. JT Brubaker will be on the mound for the Pirates. They've had some luck in Milwaukee. Milwaukee seems to play the Pirates very well in Pittsburgh, and the Pirates seem to do well in Milwaukee. If you're watching the game, I'm sure they're going to show the scoreboard. Greg Brown tried to describe it. It's huge. It's like they built the stadium around the scoreboard. It's unbelievable. And it's a nice place. Have I been there? No. Is it on my bucket list? I don't know. I'd rather tour the Grand Canyon. The Penguins gained some ground on the Capitals and the Islanders last night, even though the Penguins lost. But, they lost in a shootout to Philadelphia, so they gained 1 point because the game went overtime. Islanders lost. Washington was beat by one of the worst teams in the league, Buffalo. Buffalo beat them on Washington ice. So as I look at the standings in the Eastern Division, I see that the Penguins, they did gain some ground. They trail first place Washington by only 3 points, and second place the New York Islanders by only 1 point. So they play back-to-backers in Buffalo this weekend. And the Pirates lose 8-3 to San Diego. But, they split the 4-game series with the Padres. Some people say they have a real good team. I don't think they're as good as the LA Dodgers. I was looking at the Dodgers, and, in 13 games, I know it's early, Bill. It's early, but in 13 games, the Dodgers are 11-2. And they happen to host the Padres in a big weekend series. It could be real big and real bad for the Padres if they lose 2 out of 3. You don't want to see the Dodgers get a good start. Although all the teams have a good period of, maybe they win 7 out of 8. I'm surprised my Red Sox have won 9 in a row. Well, they've won 9 out of their last 10. Minnesota broke the 9-game winning streak by beating the Red Sox the other day. I'm really shocked and surprised, A lot of good ones are gone, like Mookie Betts. I still think he should be a Red Sox, but that was a money matter. But you know what? They have the second best record now in baseball, so that's okay. That's all right. One hockey note, I am impressed with Jeff Carter. I was impressed with the way he played, being his first game with the Pittsburgh Penguins last night. He's going to contribute. He can play many positions, and if they put him as a third-line center, the Penguins just got a little bit better. I don't know what's going to happen when a couple of key players come back, one of them named Geno Malkin. That would break up the chemistry because you're getting all these young guys ice time, and they're coming in on their own. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But I know the Penguins, they'll be in the playoffs. They should be in the playoffs. Do they want to win the Eastern Division and in the first round maybe face the Boston Bruins? I don't know. Am I surprised Buffalo beat Washington in Washington? No. You know, Buffalo got a lot of young players, and they're all playing for jobs, you know? It's what you're doing now in case you have a future. I don't know what kind of future you want to have in Buffalo. Great wings in Buffalo. In the 90s, the Bills were like one of the best teams. Very few teams. I don't think anybody's done it. It's been in the Super Bowl 4 years in a row. And poor Greg Brown was in the broadcast booth for all four, and it was all 4 losses for Buffalo. Buffalo's not a bad town, but it was like Cleveland. I made many Steeler trips to Buffalo. I've yet to see the sun. I think I went 15 years on Sunday afternoons in Cleveland, and it was either snowing, rainy, cloudy, miserable before I got to see the sun. Could I live in Cleveland? Yeah, I guess so. Could you live in Cleveland, Lola? No. Oh, somebody on the line?
Yeah.
Is that DJ?
Yeah.
Hey, DJ, I was just talking about Jeff Carter.
I thought you were talking about Elmira when you were talking about never seeing the sun in certain places.
Elmira, New York, right?
Yeah, we used to go there all the time, and I feel like we never saw a sunny day there. It's unbelievable.
Well, I used to make a few trips with the Pitt broadcast team, okay, when they played at Syracuse. And, of course, I never did get to see the sun because the game was played indoors, but that's okay. And I went to Syracuse before I found Boston University. I said, what do you do in Syracuse on a weekend, you know? The weather's bad? I don't know. But everybody goes to Syracuse thinks they're going to be a great star in our business, but that's okay. You're a great star, and if you wake me up again, I'm going to come and see you like you did last night. I had a bad day yesterday, real bad day. I lost my keys. I was going crazy, and here the keys were in Lola's production studio. So I'm tired. I'm miserable. I had problems with AAA. You know, I needed some help, emergency help, and I'm talking to a guy in L.A., then I'm talking to a guy in Houston to try and guide me out of Wheeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I went home. I stopped by and got some Chinese food. I'm relaxing. I'm falling asleep, and you call. And you say...
Well, I apologize for that.
No, that's okay. What did you say? I had to tell you, Bill. I had to tell you. I thought you got a better job. Or you got fired. Or you won the lottery. No, you told me what? I don't hear. We all right, Lola?
We're good.
I can't hear you. Wait a minute. There you go. Or, you know what? Well, there was no ice. How bad was the ice in Indianapolis if they had to cancel the game? That's what? 3 cancellations in 8 days? 6 days. What happened?
That's what we're trying to figure out as we go. But yeah, actually, so the team was literally, this is how, timely this was. The team was pulling into the arena when they found out the news. Their PR guy texted me at about 4:30 and said, I don't know if you've heard yet, but we may not play tonight because of our ice. And I'm like, ha ha ha, very funny. Like, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, done that twice last weekend. Like, don't try and pull that crap on me. And he's like, no, we just figured this out this afternoon, and there's an issue, so we may not be able to go. So sure enough, they figured it out pretty quickly that they weren't going to be able to fix whatever it was, and so our guys didn't even get off the bus, unload gear, or anything. They just made a right turn up the state to Fort Wayne.
Well, did they leave that morning, or did they stay overnight in a hotel?
They left yesterday afternoon at noon, drove the 5 hours to Indy, pulled into the parking lot, got told, sit tight, you may not play, and then got told, you're not playing, so head on to your next destination. So they'll play Fort Wayne tonight at 8, so they got into Fort Wayne at about 8 o'clock at night last night, got food, and they'll try and do it again tonight.
Unbelievable. Yep. This is like a script for Hollywood, you know?
It's crazy.
The bad news nailers. Hey.
Well, you got Fort Wayne's guy who's texting me this morning. He's like, do not bring anything to us. And then sure enough, his photocopier in the office goes down. And I'm like, well, what do you know?
So it's a back-to-backer, right?
It is a bit, well, theoretically it's a back-to-backer, or it would have been, but yeah, it's in Fort Wayne tonight, and then they play in Indy tomorrow while we're off, and then we get them at our place on Sunday.
I hate to be on that bus trip. I'd hate to be on that bus trip. But you know what? You're still a pro, so you got to do what you got to do. Hey, Biff and I earlier today checked out that arena. That looks like a nice arena. Didn't they play a March Madness game there?
They did, yeah, so they can get March Madness right, but they couldn't figure out how to get a hockey game done, unfortunately. But, I can't, point too much because, unfortunately, obviously, we had our issues last weekend, but luckily we were able to resolve that and get Wednesday's game played. But, yeah, so actually, it's an old building. Like, it's built in the 30s, and if you, drive onto it, the outside of it, it looks like something out of, literally out of that time, and they just completely gutted the whole inside of it, got it redone when the fuel went in 2014, so they've done a really nice job with it. They have a practice rink that's attached to it, so they've got 2 pads in the same building, so yeah, it's a really nice facility. They did a really good job with that.
Now, it would have been great if you would have bothered me while I was trying to sleep, and you tell me something like, because you told me right off the bat, I couldn't wait to tell you, Bill, it would have been great if you said, I'm in the parking lot in Indianapolis and we're not having a game. We got to go back home.
Mark and I had that conversation this morning. He and I were talking about a variety of different things because he told me about the timing on everything, and he's like, yeah, I mean, at least we have to go to the next city. I said, yeah, the worst thing would have been if you had to go all the way there, find out, no, and then all the way 5 hours back. Like, I think the bus driver may have just driven himself into a ditch at that point.
Yeah, or he's still drinking, one of the two, yeah. Okay, fine.
He called me this morning too, actually.
The bus driver called you?
Yeah.
What did he want?
Oh, just to shoot the breeze. He's a good guy. He's been driving us for a couple of years. He's like, can you believe this? I'm like, no, I can't.
All right. Hey, listen, before I let you go.
Yes.
I forgot what I was going to ask you now. The game that was canceled, can it be made up later in the season, or is this another one that you don't have to worry about?
They're talking about it because I think, honestly, both teams would like to try and make it up if they can.
Yeah.
Right now it's open-ended. So they haven't made a decision one way or the other, but with the points percentage, here's the thing. You want to get as many games in as you can. We're on a roll. That's the most annoying thing about this whole thing is we're in the middle of a 6-game point streak, and we've just had 3 games wiped out of the way, and it's like, well, it'd be nice to have those games and win those games right now. This is our best stretch all year. The only challenge is you look at both of our schedules, and we're pretty well jam-packed. We have 25 left, and they have, what are they at, 24 left, I think, if my math is right. So there's not a lot of time to cram this all in by June 5th.
All right. You have a special events or anything, giveaways for Sunday's game?
We do not, but it'll be another battle with the Comets this Sunday, and actually next Sunday we have them coming in as well. So we're going to get a lot of Fort Wayne on our docket in the next few weeks.
Well, yeah. The good thing is you didn't have to, go from Indianapolis to maybe Florida or South Carolina,
Oh, man, I'm telling you.
I mean, the players, whether they're going to be with the team next year or not, they have some unbelievable memories during their stay in Wheeling.
Clarky and I used to talk about we should write a book, and I'm telling you, the stuff, 10 years, you could probably fill about 25 chapters worth of stuff of just the weird things that you've experienced ongoing. And, you can't blame anybody either. Some of it's just a fact that it just kind of happens the way that it does, and you're like, well, let's see if they can get it fixed and get it working again.
Danny Magruder probably is going to get mad at me for mentioning this because I guess I'm a bad luck charm. What you need Sunday, okay, is a power outage. I shouldn't say that. Now, if there's a power outage, I don't want people coming up here to the station, okay, because Lola takes care of my light work. But, what else could go wrong,
I haven't had that yet. I've had ice. I've had a fire alarm go off in a game once. That was hilarious.
Did you ever have a flat tire on the bus?
No, I've had more bus problems than I really want to talk about, though.
Okay, all right.
We rode the booster bus one time, actually, going to Toledo one year because our bus broke down. We were about an hour and a half out. Luckily, they were making the trip up with us, Like they were following us, and we were leading the way, and they drove, and they're like, "Hey, is that the team bus on the side of the road?" And we're like, "Yeah, it is." So they pulled over, and we loaded as much gear as we could and tried to stuff it under the bus and make the rest of our way an hour and a half up to Toledo. Yeah, we've done that. I mean, we've unloaded gear on the side of the road in the snowstorm, and on our way back from Brampton one year. Like, I think transportation is probably the number one source of stories across pro sport.
Yeah. Hey, did the boosters give up their seats to the players?
Shared them.
Okay, that would have been fun, you know?
I had a couple of my friends that were in the back of the bus, and they're like, "Dude, you got a spot right for you." So actually, it was myself and Billy, the equipment manager, because we've been together the longest out of anybody, and they pretty much had the red carpet rolled out for us in the back of the bus. They're like, "Right here, guys, right here, just for you." And I'm like, "All right, perfect, let's go."
All right, you agree with me that Jeff Carter's going to help the Penguins offense?
I think the best part of that is the center depth. I think center's the most valuable position. Like we see it here. I mean, our center depth going into tonight's a lot better than it was even a week ago with a guy back from injury or a suspension rather than a guy back from the AHL. But it's the most important position because of how you need them offensively to help create, obviously winning faceoffs, but also they're the first defensive forward to get back. They go back before the wingers do. So I think the fact that they have Crosby, Malkin, Carter down the middle, I think that's a really big asset to that team. Is going to really help them as they make their push to try and get as high a seed as possible, which you're going to need a high seed because you got three other good teams that are going to be in the dance with you in that division.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry I brought up the power outage Sunday. I just hope you run out of taco in a bag because that'll make the bosses of River City happy, you know?
Oh, man. Hey, that's the best case scenario, right? We want people to eat well.
Yeah. Lola, are you going Sunday by any chance? No, Lola won't be there as a good luck charm. Maybe you'll win. You'll never want her to go to a game again. How about that?
Hey, we like Lola's support. She's good.
Yeah, she is good. Yeah. Everybody likes Lola. Yeah?
That's right.
Taco in a bag. Yeah, that's one of the best things about going to a hockey game. And those pretzels. Plus the price is right.
Oh, man. You know what? Robbie, who does the music, and he's down the road from me, comes up into the booth with one of those things Wednesday night, one of the pretzels. I was like, where on earth did you get that thing? It looked outstanding.
Yeah, and it's big. You know, it's mouth-watering. Yeah.
They got the different flavors, right?
Yeah.
Too? Like he said he had like a jalapeno thing, and I'm like, oh, my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, all right. Keep buying them, you know. They need the money at River City. They need the money.
Well, you put flavors like that in there, you got me sold 1,000%. Yeah. Holy smokes.
Me, I just still eat pretzels in a bag, you know, Bachman's or whatever they're called. I like those pretzels. I'm a pretzel guy. All right, I hope everything goes well. Yeah.
I could devote a paragraph or two.
Boy, you're so kind-hearted.
I know.
But I like your honesty.
Reel that hook in, because you were just fishing. That's
yeah. Well, I'm not a good... You fish at all?
What?
Do you fish?
For real fish?
Yeah, real fish, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
I was, where was I? I was at Dick's the other day. I can't believe the reels, how expensive they can be.
Yeah.
You know, I think I saw one for $369. I said, it's a reel. Whatever. Okay, no, I wasn't into fishing. You know, no. Worms like snakes scare me, okay? We have to take a break?
We got about a minute and a half.
Okay, I mentioned the Pirates and the Penguins are on the road to Buffalo. Those not guaranteed 4 points back-to-back in Buffalo. After I watched, some of the highlights, it was all Buffalo against Washington. I mean, they were hitting Ovechkin and everything. You know, even Tom Wilson got hit a couple of times. The Buffalo Sabres are awful, but they got a lot of young kids and a couple veterans. They're playing every play for their job next year. So, you know, I'd be happy if the Penguins get 3 points out of 4, all right? Yeah, Buffalo beat Washington. Oh. And the Pirates, they lost to San Diego. They're in Milwaukee tonight. Milwaukee's well-rested. They haven't played since, Tuesday? That's going to be an interesting series. Then we'll have fun next week when the Pirates play Lola's Detroit Tigers, okay? All right. Looking forward to that series, all right? Looking forward to talking about the games afterwards, see what Lola thinks about her Tigers. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk entertainment with Butch. All right, some of the all-time great movies from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, according to the editors of Time magazine. We'll be right back right after this. We are the Watchdog, Bill and Lola, the odd couple. We'll be right back.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash, powered by The Score on the Watchdog. I'm John Thayer. The NCAA Division I Council made a couple of changes official yesterday. They adopted a new transfer legislation that will allow student athletes one-time opportunity to transfer and compete immediately. The other change involved recruiting activities, which will be allowed as of June 1st in all sports to return to their normal recruiting calendars. In-person recruiting has been shut down since the pandemic began. Cameron Smith was the day one leader at RBC Heritage at 9 under par. He shot a career best 62 on day number one. Stuart Sink was a shot behind, while Colin Morikawa and Matt Wallace were tied for third at 6 under. Download the Score app today. Lightning fast sports alerts. It's why the Score app is one of North America's most popular sports apps. I'm John Thayer with the Sports Flash, powered by the Score on the Watchdog.
O'Reilly. Cleaning your fuel system can make your car run better and improve gas mileage. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts and pick up a bottle of Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner and add it to your tank during your next fill-up. On sale now, buy one, get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop by and talk to our professional parts people today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Hey, we get it. You don't want to be hearing a Progressive commercial right now, so let us tell you something you do want to hear. You are intelligent. You make all the right decisions. You were smart before smart was cool, and you made it cool again. You have a wealth of knowledge, and you are so very clever. I bet you already knew I was going to say that, you genius. There, don't you feel better? You'll also feel better when you hear you could save big when you switch to Progressive. But I'm pretty sure you already knew that, too. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates.
In a hurry and need to see a doctor? The Woodsdale Health Center and Walk-In Clinic is located across from Little Caesars on National Road. Open 7 to 7 Monday through Friday. Patients can receive primary care, treatment of minor illnesses and injuries, wellness visits and physicals. There's also a lab draw station open from 8 to noon weekdays. A division of Wheeling Hospital, the Woodsdale Health Center is led by family physician Dr. Michael Wilson. Call 304-234-1971. They'll take good care of you.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local
Learning is encouraged and applied. A community where you will be supported and be inspired to support others. An experience that is more than just a university. It's a place you'll call home. A legacy you'll leave for generations to come. It's all here at West Liberty University.
The Wheeling Nailers are back at it against the Fort Wayne Comets. Sunday, April 18th, puck drops 4:10. Enjoy a fun day with the Nailers and see possible future NHL stars. 65 former Nailers and Thunderbirds have already reached the NHL. Experience the 29th season of pro hockey in Wheeling. Get tickets now for the Nailers game. Sunday, April 18th at Westbanco Arena. Call 304-
that you can be a part of no matter which way you lean. I'm Big Rick, your host of Real Big Talk, and I invite you to join me, Lola, and the rest of this community to discuss our world and the events that unfold daily. Be a part of the conversation at 304-214-1600. Real Big Talk, weekdays 2 to 5 on the Watchdog.
Messing around with jerks. My car is parked outside. I'm afraid it doesn't work. I'm looking for a partner. Someone who gets things fixed.
I want to check out the community bulletin board. Calling all mothers. Mother's Day flower sale will take place at Perkins Restaurant. Man, I love their pancakes. At 680 National Road in Wheeling. It's hosted by the Wheeling Lions Club. Hanging baskets, $20 from Klug's Greenhouse. Did I pronounce that okay, Lola? Klug's? K-L-U-G-S? Or Klug's?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
All right, May 7th and Saturday, May 8th. May 7th is a Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., okay? Mother's Day, right around the corner. Why is Mother's Day more popular than Father's Day, Lola? Father's Day, I don't even get a card.
That's on your kids. I don't know.
Butch, you have an answer for that?
That's just a plight, our plight in life. But we have a lot easier time with birthing our children than mothers do. So I think a continued tribute is in order.
How are you, my man? How's everything?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Actually, it's kind of cold, but that's all right. It's springtime. We'll have that.
Yeah, I have your the poster that you had from the restaurant that I stole, so I could talk about your next venue.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I have it in my car. I look at it and laugh. You want to talk about it because that date's coming up, isn't it?
Sure, yeah, it's coming up pretty soon. Yeah, it's Mystery Theater Unlimited. We're back after having been away with reviving one of our funniest shows ever called How the West Was Dumb. And
am I in it? Am I in it? It's dumb. Am I dummy?
Well, you could be easily. We do have a lot of audience participation. It's entirely voluntary. If you've never been to one of those things, it's about time.
Yeah.
We've been doing it for, this would be our 25th season, actually. Our 24th season got interrupted, and so anyway, it's just in-your-face comedy. It's really silly. There are a lot of song parodies in it. We have it lasts about 2.5 hours over the course of dinner and stuff like that. We don't actually, the show itself is only a little over an hour, but it's kind of spread out over the evening. Really an inexpensive and yet really fun way to spend an evening. And it would make a great Mother's Day present, too, because our next shows are happening the weekend, sort of like right after Mother's Day. So you could say, hey, guess what? I'm going to take you to River City on Thursday to see How the West Was Dumb, the Mystery Theater show, or on Friday at the View Bar and Grill, which is located in Grandview Park in Moundsville. So 2 opportunities, and it's only $19.95. Now, you don't have to tell Mom that, but it's only $19.95 per person. That's for the show and dinner. Your beverages and gratuity is a little bit extra, but hey, you think $50 for a nice Mother's Day present, not bad.
Not
You
bad.
get to enjoy it too.
Not bad. And I've never been to the View. Shame on me, right? But everybody tells me it's a nice, small venue. Very cool.
It's very nice. It's intimate, and we're still going to be, invoking good protocol for social distancing. Servers will be in mask. All the performers are vaccinated, so there's no concern about us spreading any disease or anything. So, but we're going to continue to protect our guests. So,
by the way, you didn't have lunch recently, did you?
Sometime in the past couple of hours, yeah.
Because you're going to throw up when we go over the oldies calendar.
Oh boy, that's my favorite segment.
Before we get to the oldies calendar, tell us what else is happening in the neighborhood, will you, Mr. Rogers?
Well, yes, I will, because actually, there's you like movies. There's a movie tonight at Towngate Theater, at Ogilvy Institute's Towngate Theater. It's The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And
wait a minute, Biff Leonard's in that. He's the Hunchback. Wait, is he here? Is he here? No, he isn't. Okay.
It's a classic movie. It's 7:30 tonight, and it's a good time. If you've never seen a show with Towngate, you might want to check that out. Also, improv with the Crazy Eights is tomorrow night, and so that'll be a live show with these are young people doing comedy improv, and they're very talented. I've caught their show once or twice, and so I encourage you to consider that too. Coming up next weekend at that same venue, Towngate Theater, is Bill Gorby and his musical Mercenaries. So they're going to have music there, and that would be next Saturday night. And tickets for that are $12.50. Looking back though to this weekend, my very good friends, The Muddle, get my weekly plug in for them. They're going to be playing in Barnesville tonight. Go check them out. They're a whole lot of fun. Nice usually 3-piece, 4-piece band sometimes,
Okay. Good stuff.
And, all good.
Yeah, good
So
stuff.
that's mostly what I know is happening. But get your reservations in now for Mystery Theater. The shameless self-promotion plug again.
Well, that's okay. Hey, I've been to about 3 or 4 of those. Plus, I got a DVD that I've looked at one time, and I say, wow, what a well-produced show. And, of course, it's well-directed by you. I know you might be tough on people, but you know what? It all comes out very good on stage. So.
Well, I'm fortunate to be just working with some of the funniest, talented people in the area.
Yeah.
And they make me look good all the time, or or at least okay anyway.
Yeah. Lola, you're good at movie trivia. You watch a lot of old movies, silent movies. Who played the Hunchback of Notre Dame? I see his face, but I can't remember his name.
Lawton.
Yeah, that's right.
Was
there a remake? Was there a remake, Butch?
Oh, sure, yeah.
That is the remake. There was one back in the 20s that was silent, and there was the one in the 30s with Maureen O'Hara.
Okay.
And Charles Lawton.
Okay.
And I don't know, there's probably been one since then.
Well, there's one since. It was an animated one. Disney, of course, Disney-fied it.
Yes, so it had no impact whatsoever.
Right, no.
I guess a lot of people, they don't know about the Academy Awards because a lot of people haven't seen the movies. I haven't seen one yet. Have you?
Oh, yeah, I've seen them all.
All of them? What's impressed you the most? What one?
Boy, I don't know. There's so many, but right now I'm thinking Nomadland was really, really impressive. I saw one of the documentaries that really just blew me away is My Octopus Teacher. Really good, and these are, you can stream all of these, Bill. 2 of them you have to pay for, but by and large you can get them on Netflix, HBO Max, etc. Depending on what you. I try to see all of them. I did say I've seen all of them. I've seen all of the Best Picture nominees and all of the significant, actor, actress categories. And it's hard for me to pick. Another one that's really outstanding is called The Sound of Metal. And it's really amazing. The lead character is a drummer who loses his hearing, and you actually get to sort of experience it through his ears. Most recently, I saw The Father. That has Anthony Hopkins in it, and he's playing a very intelligent older man who is going into dementia, and his daughter suffers along with him. And it's an amazing film. I highly recommend that. But really, they're all good. Judas and the Black Messiah, One Night in Miami. They're Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Really, all of these films are well worth watching. I know Lola saw Hillbilly Elegy and Glenn Close in that, right?
Yeah.
And that's pretty amazing too. The other documentary feature I've seen is The Mole Agent, and that was really interesting too, about a guy who goes undercover, is hired to go undercover in a nursing home. And because a family member suspects that one of the people in the nursing home is undergoing some elder abuse, and so a detective hires an 85-year-old man to go to become a resident of this nursing home and spy on them. And meanwhile, there's a documentary film that's already been set up to do the surveillance. But it's really fascinating. Also, nominated for an Academy Award. Do you like documentaries, Bill? Do you ever watch them?
Every once in a while. Yeah, every once in a while.
Yeah, well, these are really outstanding, both of them. The Mole Agent and My Octopus Teacher. Highly recommended.
All right, that's good
Butch, have you watched Hemingway?
I've not, no.
It's a Ken Burns, so it's on PBS. 6 hours. It is absolutely fascinating. But don't watch it later on in the night, because I don't know who is narrating it. And he's got the most soothing voice. So I have started each episode like 4 times a piece, because I have to then zap to where I fell asleep, but it's really fascinating. And then I wanted to tell you too, it's on PBS, and I don't know if it's the American Experience or another show, but they're doing a modern-day Romeo and Juliet stage production. That looks so intriguing. And don't ask me who's starring in it. The guy that plays Romeo really looks familiar to me, but I've just seen it in the trailers, so I don't know. But it's like either the American Experience or something Playhouse.
Or something.
Yeah, but it's on PBS.
Okay, yeah. So the Romeo and Juliet, we don't know what that's called, but the other one you suggested is also on PBS. Then you think?
Yeah.
And I love Ken Burns. I think a long time ago I interviewed him when he did a thing on baseball. If he would do a documentary on garbage disposals, I would watch it, He's so good.
That's true. Actually, because Hemingway is philosophically not one of my favorite writers, although I admire his style a lot. But I would watch a Ken Burns documentary on him. Anyway, I think very definitely. I think that might be fascinating. They probably will give me a new appreciation for it. I loved Ken Burns' jazz and baseball, and you know what a sports nut I am. So there you go.
That's a nice compliment, man, because I know, when it comes to sports, we can talk about it at another time.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm holding in my hand?
What's that, Bill?
More of all-time movies, according to the editors of Time magazine. You want me to go from the 20s to the 2000s, or you want me to go like from the 40s on? What do you want? These are the top 3. The top 3 in each decade.
All right, let's go from the 30s on.
30s? Okay, Camille, never saw it. You, Lola?
Yep.
Good?
Yes.
Bride of Frankenstein, saw that. Yes. King Kong, 1933. Okay.
That's fantastic.
1940s, number 3 was Citizen Kane, 41. Good.
Absolutely. Yep.
Casablanca, 1942.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
And in 1946, I watch it over and over again. It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, all great films.
How about these ones in the 50s? Number 3, Streetcar Named Desire, 51.
Definitely great film, yeah.
Singing in the Rain, 52.
And this is kind of like sports. I'm not a big musical fan, but that's one of my favorites. Yeah.
And number 1, 1954, to no one's surprise, On the Waterfront.
Oh, yeah.
1960s, a lot of great movies. Number 3 was Psycho, 1960.
Okay, yeah.
Lola won't watch that. She hasn't taken a shower since. Doctor Strangelove, 1964, was number 2.
Yeah.
I don't know about number 1. Bonnie and Clyde, 1967.
Well, no, that's a different choice, but I can't deny that it's a great film.
Yeah.
I know, I just can't watch it. I don't know. I just find it really disturbing. And I can think of other ones from that decade that should be up on that list, not that.
Here we go with the 70s. Number 3, Godfather 1 and 2, 1972, 74.
Yeah,
I thought it could have been number 1. Number 2 was Chinatown, 1974.
That's good.
I think Chinatown deserves that, yes.
Yep.
And number 1, Star Wars, 1977.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to argue with that.
Okay. You might have some argument in the 80s. Number 3, Raging Bull, 1980.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great film. Yeah.
Blade Runner, 1982 was number 2.
Huh. Okay.
A little bit surprised there. How about you, Lola?
Dying too.
Yeah, not one of mine.
Number 1, E.T., 1982.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I would have put like the first Indiana Jones movie in there.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too when I went over this list. Yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
agree on something. 1990s. Number 3, 1990, Goodfellas.
Yes, definitely.
Number 2, I Was Crying. I Was Crying a Lot. Schindler's List, 1993.
Yeah.
And number 1 was Pulp Fiction, 1994. Yeah.
Yeah, those are all great choices. I'm kind of missing the Usual Suspects.
Yeah,
and
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
2000s, it's one of those, okay. Number 3, Lord of the Rings, 2001 to 2003.
Yep.
Number 2, I can't recall, Talk to Her, 2002. What was that about, Lola?
I don't know.
Butch?
I don't remember that either. What
Talk
was
to
it
Her.
called?
Talk to Her.
I don't even know that.
Number 1 was Finding Nemo, 2003.
Yeah, that was a great movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you want to know what today is other than Friday?
Sure.
It's Little Tramp Day.
Oh.
Yep.
Little Tramp. All right. Yeah, you're talking Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah. His autobiography, I had to read this. He said in his autobiography, there are more valid facts and details in works of art than there are in history books. You agree?
I'm thinking, maybe.
Yeah. When you think of fake news, I don't know.
Oh.
But you watch a lot of silent movies, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
You have a favorite? Is it The Tramp, The Little Tramp?
City Lights is
Okay, that's
one of my
mentioned here.
favorites.
1931, City Lights. Okay. His first talkie, what was it, Lola? Hitler? Mussolini?
Yeah.
The great dictator.
And that is a brilliant movie. Absolutely brilliant.
His first talkie. Okay. I want to mention this because my son works for the post office now. On this date in 1900, the first book of U.S. postage stamps was issued. The 2-cent stamps were available in books of 12, 24, and 48 stamps. How much are forever stamps now? 55 cents?
I don't even know. They're over 50 cents. I know that.
Okay, Mr. Beatle lover. On this date in 1973, former Beatle Paul McCartney, leading the group Wings, started his first TV special entitled James Paul McCartney.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Was it any good? Who was that?
It wouldn't hold out very well today. A couple of good musical performances, though, I think.
Who played the keyboards and backed with the vocals?
Glenda.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Adequately.
Yeah.
She was adequate.
Not a good PR move for Oprah Winfrey on 1996. On this day, she hosted her syndicated show that included a segment on mad cow disease. A group of Texas cattle ranchers later sued and won for her comments. I don't remember that.
That's what Dr.
Bill?
Yeah, got his start, was over that whole lawsuit thing.
All right, I don't want to mention that. It has to do with shootings at Virginia Tech. Dusty Springfield, did you like her? She partied with the Rolling Stones and Beatles, Butch.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she was all part of that swinging London scene in the 60s.
Marianne Faithfull, wishing and hoping. You don't have to say you love me. Son of a preacher man. All right, pretty good group. She was born in the state in 1939. The Pride of Cannonsburg, Bobby Vinton. Roses are red, blue on blue. Mr. Lonely, that's about me. How old do you think Bobby Vinton out of Cannonsburg is? Lola?
Old.
Okay. Butch?
That's old. We'll say 78.
86.
Oh.
86. Wow.
See, he's really old.
He's very old, yeah.
Great jazz musician. I think I have his greatest hits on CD somewhere. Herbie Mann.
Yeah.
Born 1930. Edie Adams. Hey, big spender, spend a little time with me. Popular actress, I guess. She also promoted cigars, which was a good commercial. She was in The Apartment. I can't remember her in The Apartment. Can you, Lola? Edie Adams?
I do remember those commercials.
Yeah. And the Ernie Kovacs show. He was a pretty funny guy. spokesperson for Muriel Cigars, whatever. Henry Mancini, the pride of Aliquippa. How old is he? He passed away in 1994. We'll just say he was born 1924. All right? I think we got Jerry Rafferty. Did he go to jail?
No, I don't think so.
Baker Street? I thought he did something and went to jail.
Maybe he did, but Baker Street was the thing he was the most known for.
Didn't he have another hit, Stuck in the Middle with You?
No, that was Steelers Wheel.
Well, he wrote the song. That's what it says here.
Did he?
Yeah,
okay.
Stuck. Born in 1947, passed away in 2011. Are we approaching the 70s? One of your favorites. I know you always wanted to be like him. He was one of the Osmonds. He was the youngest Osmond, born on this date in 1963. Big Jimmy Osmond. You were a big fan, weren't you?
Jimmy Osmond. Oh, no. They were bubblegum, by the time I was done with bubblegum. So,
Here we go, 1954. Perry Como, number one hit, Wanted. Number one in 1962, Shelley Fabre, Johnny Angel. Elvis Presley had the number two song until 3 weeks later, Good Luck Charm. Slow Twistin', Chubby Checker. How many Twist songs did he have?
They were all Twist songs.
Yeah, Twistin' again, Slow Twistin', The Twist. Wow. 1970, you don't like the 70s, but I'm sure you like the number one song by the Beatles, Let It Be.
Oh, yeah, in 1970, yeah.
Number two was Spirit in the Sky.
That was a great song, too.
Yeah. Number three was ABC by the Jackson 5. You probably
Okay, then that falls apart, but,
Country song, Tennessee Birdwalk. I played it once, and Lola said we're not playing that again.
Don't blame her.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. I'm not ready because I forgot where I wrote it down. Hold on. Number one, Lonely Days, Lonely Nights.
Yeah, great song. That was the last good song by the Bee Gees.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a really good song. But it was, it was, like I said, the last great song by the Bee Gees.
Okay, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Number two was Staying Alive in 1978.
Oh, you had to go there.
I'm sorry. I got my facts screwed up. I'm allowed one mistake every 20 years.
All right.
Number two was Staying Alive. Number one was, I could dance to this at one time, Night Fever.
Terrible stuff. Gosh. You see what happened between 1970 and 1978 to the Bee Gees? They went from great to just
yeah, but the Bee Gees didn't make a whole lot of money when they were the Bee Gees in the late 60s and early 70s. The disco made them stars. And John Travolta,
I know.
Number three, you probably liked the song by Eric Clapton, Lay Down Sally.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah.
All right?
It's okay.
Yeah. All right. That's it. Hey, hopefully, I'd like to see you in the studio sometime, man. Come on.
Yeah, I'm going to come in sometime.
All right.
You're going to take a vacation sometime, too, right?
How do you know?
I don't know. I just hear.
Okay. Yeah, that's coming up. Yeah. 35th anniversary. Can you believe it?
But you are on the schedule for that.
Okay.
I meant to tell you.
Good to know.
Okay.
All right, we got to go. Big Rick on the Big Rick Show's next. Say goodbye to Big Butch. Bye, Butch.
Bye, Butch.
Okay, have a good weekend, Lola.
Every now and then I get a little bit terrified, and then I see the look in your eyes. Every now and then I fall apart. Every now and then I fall apart. Every now and then I get a little.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road,